Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Corey Baumeister.
And we've got Rob in the booth. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Rob.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Rob.
Rob always gives us a countdown. He's just like 5, 4 again. Oh, screw it. You're live. We're like, all right, Rob.
I haven't been here in like a month. I don't know how to do my job anymore.
To be fair, Rob, numbers are hard. It's been a while for all of us since kindergarten. You know, sometimes you lose those skills over time.
Live. Yeah.
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns as long as they're not numbered.
Yeah.
Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. It is our first show here in the year of our Lord 2022.
Yes.
It's so far feels pretty similar to 2021.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Though actually, that's not necessarily true. It's gotten a lot colder in Roanoke in the last week or two.
It is. Yeah. It was like,
actually winter.
I was just listening to the radio and they're like, it's going to be down to a frigid 33 degrees. And I kind of laughed, but then thought, that is kind of cold. But coming back from Christmas in North Dakota, it was negative 22 the day I left. So I was still wearing a sweatshirt today on my way to Versus. But
22?
Negative 22.
Why do people live there?
I wonder that now every day after I come back from Christmas. Like, yeah.
Why?
Yeah. You know, people just like to endure harm to themselves.
Your face hurts when you go outside.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you can't breathe right. You just like, it takes your breath away immediately, and you're like, I need to seek shelter immediately.
Or I will die.
Or you will die. Your extremities will no longer exist. You know, it's pretty fun.
Fortunately, you have sought shelter here in the lovely city of Roanoke, Virginia, where it is a balmy 33 degrees.
Tropical day.
And we are ready to do some more battling.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing everyone's favorite format. That is Modern. We do have a return of some SCG cons and an expansion of SCG cons. So if you haven't been able to enjoy those while they've been in Roanoke over the past several years, they will be coming to several cities during this year. We've got 3 events already posted. Philadelphia coming up in February. Then in March, we have Indianapolis. And in April, there is Dallas.
Yep, and there's supposed to be a total of 10, if I read the announcement right. So I think, plenty to look forward to. And if it's any indication with the first 3 events, what we're going to be looking forward to for like the last 7 as well, it's going to be a lot of Modern, which is great. It's an awesome format. We don't know what's going on with Standard. You can't really play Alchemy. We'll have some team events in there and stuff. But for the majority of it, you're going to need to be ready and you're going to need to be prepared to play against Modern decks. And we picked 6 decks that are really prevalent right now, and with the new set coming out, Kamigawa coming out here at the end of the month or early next month, it's not going to change anything too much in Modern. We're going to get upgrades and stuff, but you're going to need to know how to play against these 6 decks and play with these decks.
Yeah. There's always a chance we get one really impactful card like Expressive Iteration last year before Modern Horizons. But usually not much beyond that. So the decks that we're playing today will likely be among the most prevalent decks.
Until we get Modern Horizon 3, then, then completely new format.
But that's way in the distance. That's not happening until like March.
I was just going to say, that's 2 months in the distance until we get some new secondary products and stuff.
It's going to be Modern Horizons March of 2022. Then there's Modern Horizons May of 2022.
Exactly, And then Summer Horizons, Modern Horizon 5 will be coming out in July.
Super Modern Horizons, where all the cards are foil and the packs cost $7,000.
They haven't spoiled that yet. We weren't supposed to tell them yet, okay? We signed that NDA.
Yeah, like they would ever tell me anything.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'm excited to play some Modern here. It's been like a month since we played.
I know you've been really struggling to find a deck that you like in Modern, so hopefully after seeing these 6 decks today, you might see something you like.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick one of these 3 decks that I'm playing that I'm going to play until the end of time. So no pressure. I'm just hoping I find one of them.
Well, I was surprised that you selected Burn. Normally not your style. I'm guessing that you have somewhere to be at the end of this. You just wanted to get it over with quickly.
No, it's pretty cold out. So I'm trying to warm it up via deck. I'm trying to burn it up in here a little bit and then, warm up a bit. But no, in all reality, we were looking over all of Modern and stuff and just deciding what 6 decks would be the top 6. Burn did come in at 5th at best, 6th, maybe even 7th. but it's something we haven't visited a lot of. And I do just think it's a good deck. And I wanted to bring up a point that if you are new to Modern out there, this is one of the cheapest decks to get in. And it's very strong still. So, like, anybody who is really just trying to learn Modern that maybe wants to travel to some of these SCGs, this is something that is a good starting point. I always recommend this, even if people do Mana Traders or Card Hoarder rental services. You can't always get Grixis Death Shadow or Money Pile. I mean, you need like 8 subscriptions to get Money Pile. But if you want to just like get one of these subscriptions, pay $25, pick up Modern Burn, and start figuring out what the format's all about, you can do that. Yeah.
And I agree with you. Burn has just been a solid deck in Modern for quite a while. And despite the reputation of Burn being a sort of easy deck or a simplistic deck, it is far from it. Definitely a lot of intricacies there, especially when you're playing against counter spells and when you're dealing with opposing creature decks and you have the question of, do I lightning bolt their creature? Do I lightning bolt upstairs? There are times when it's right to do one and times when it's right to do the other. And the best burn pilots are the ones that make those tough decisions correctly the highest proportion of the time.
And against you said it right. Against counter spells, it's not easy. Against creatures, it's not easy. You play against a mid-range deck like Grixis Death Shadow, it's not easy because you really got to figure out, when to time your burn spells. Not only when,
creatures, discard, and counter spells.
Exactly. So like we just labeled all the metagame of Modern, so it's just not easy all the time. But the games when you win,
much like being green, it's just not easy.
Yeah, sure. But there are plenty of games whenever you can just win so easily that it does feel easy. But, the games where you lose, you probably had some agency over your game, and maybe you could have won.
Yep. Yeah. And you are going to be playing against some creatures and counter spells in this matchup. I'm going to be playing Temur Crashgade.
Okay.
Sort of cemented itself as the better Shardless Agent deck. We saw a lot of it vying with Living End for that title. Living End has really fallen off. I think largely because Living End, while being vulnerable to the anti-Cascade cards like Chalice of the Void and Void Mirror, also vulnerable to the graveyard hate side of things. So you just open yourself up to more angles of interaction, whereas the Crashgade deck is both more interactive itself and less vulnerable to hate cards.
Yeah, I actually do think it is close, but I do think I like Living End more than this deck just by a hair. But it's one of those, Living End right now to me is the new Dredge. If you're forgetting about it, and at this point it's forgetting about it, you need to be not focused on this deck at all, and then it's pretty good. But if you are considering, or if you're putting your sideboard in any way, shape, or form to beat it, even Spell Pierces, Chalice, plenty of other things can really just shut down Living End. And we saw Nassif do pretty decent the last couple weeks in challenges with it. But outside of that, not many other people are picking it up. So I agree with you. It's very not at its best right now. Yeah.
So right here with the Crashgade matchup, going to be really important for me to put a clock on Corey because the burn deck has inevitability here. So having that turn 3 Cascade, getting those 2/4/4 is going to be really important. And then, of course, Force of Negation.
Yep. All right, so let's battle. I guess they must have did some cleaning of the thing and just set the marbles over there, but I'll take the play. That's cool. All right. Rob, you got any early questions over there?
I do, but before that, actually, I know we normally do subs at the end, but I do want to give a shout out to Golgoli, who just gifted 20 subs to the channel.
Whoa! Golgoli! Holy crap, that's our homie. Thank you, buddy. So appreciate you. Golgoli gave me some Christmas subs as well early in December, so good
person.
person.
Have like a goose and cranberry sauce on them?
No, they actually just mailed me mashed potatoes and gravy, like a little Christmas
in an envelope.
feast. Exactly, yeah. And the subs came separate, so yeah. All right. And Rob, you want to give us a countdown just to keep you fresh with that into the show?
4, 1, chicken, go.
Close enough. We like it. Okay, I'll start. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to start with, I have a choice here. And I know there's probably one that is far more correct, but we're going to start with the old Goblin Guide, the unbeatable. How unlucky. You're going to discard.
18.
Okay, best you. You don't have any 1-drops. Let's get real. And dead gone.
And suspend crashing footfalls. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we got it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's much worse.
You're up.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to crack. I actually have to think. Whenever I put a Scalding Tarn into the graveyard, I'm like, okay, I'll go to 17. That's just what I do. But I don't really care to have double white except for Lurrus. But I also, and I do not think this is going to be a matchup where Lurrus comes into play that much. So I am just going to get a basic. And nice. Would you like to cut?
Yes.
Okay, good. I've been playing actual tournaments, like 1Ks and stuff, and I'm just like, we'll just put my deck back here and they'll like reach far over, and I'm like, oh yeah, we cut here. That's right. Okay, I'm going to play a Swift Spear.
It's my first day.
It's my first day here.
I'm gonna
Swift
die.
Spear, and I'm going to bolt you, and then attack, so take...
hold on.
7. Oh yeah, I guess you could force bolt, huh?
Yeah, and I think I am...
Okay.
Because after this turn, I think Corey gets to put me in a position where he starts casting things on my turn, and I can't pitch to cast the force.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that attack is now for 4. We'll trigger the Goblin Guide.
Dang it, there's your dead
I
gone.
will go to 14.
Okay, I'll pass to you.
Then let's get this Footfalls down to 3. Draw this dead gone.
You gonna give me a free shock?
No, I'll give you 1 though. Sack a Tarn, go to 13.
Okay. Dead gone's a pretty good draw here.
Get a mountain.
Okay.
And think I'm just gonna main phase this on the Swift Spear. It's very unlikely that Corey has no burn spells, and if he does, then I'm in great shape anyway.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather just avoid this scenario where 2 burn spells plus 3 from the Swift Spear could be relevant. So I think I'm just going to dead the Swift Spear right now.
I'll go to 17 and cast Mutagenic Growth. Just kidding. I'll stay at 19.
I used to sideboard exactly 1 Mutagenic Growth in my burn deck.
Nice. Just for the high value, huh?
Oh, I got some.
So you're at 13 then, right?
Because they would always wait for Goblin Guide. They would always wait till my turn.
Yeah.
So they could get the trigger, and then I would just blow them out and make them take an extra 2 damage.
Excellent.
It was really
Excellent. You're at 13, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to draw. I will attack, trigger the Goblin Guide. Wow, you just hit every time, and you're still going to lose so badly.
Go to 11.
And then I'm going to skewer you. You're my critic.
Brings me to 8.
And suspend a Rift Bolt, and I'll pass to you.
Okay, you have 2 in hand.
2 in hand.
What falls down to 2?
Okay.
Draw.
I was like, you better put some rhinos in the way. This Goblin Guide is eating you alive.
Go to 7.
That's kind of the magical number that I always stop at with Death Shadow. Usually 8 is the ideal one because Boros Charm plus Burn Spell is pretty common. But yeah, 7 at the minimum is like where you do not want to be taking any more damage. And I imagine you won't.
Yeah, I think I'm done taking damage, at least for myself this game. I don't think I'm done taking damage overall.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I could forget about this and, just leave it suspended.
Yeah, you just didn't play a 3rd land, so I'm very dead.
I kept him in hand just to be safe.
Well, if you only have 1, then you can do that for Searing Blaze. That's actually a legitimate thing. But I do have a Shardless Agent.
What are you going to hit? What are you going to hit?
What are you going to hit? Seemed to me like it was tough to mulligan a hand that had Shardless Agent and Force Negation with another blue card, but didn't have any early interaction for creatures, so maybe I didn't need it to mulligan.
This might have been faster, or fast enough if you were on the play, though, too. Yeah. But, burn on the play, just pretty good.
On the draw, I might have to be a little bit more aggressive than that. Make sure I can interact on turns 1 or 2.
And to be fair, anyone who is starting off with stuff, I really do think Rhinos has fallen off. I think decks have just really come up with answers to beat it. 4 Teferis is pretty stock in 2 of the biggest decks now. It just feels miserable to be on this side. And even Death Shadow, I don't even care about EE anymore. Just kill things with Unholy Heat and stuff. It's yeah, do whatever you want.
I'm at 10 power.
All right. 3 ya.
Sure you don't want to kill the Shardless Agent?
Nah, I think I'm going to go for you.
Usually you want to kill your opponent's creatures.
Yeah.
I'm a 4.
Okay. I will pass to you.
Upkeep. Footfalls to 1.
Footfall. Well, the trigger on the stack.
No, it already resolved.
Now I just have to think, I waited till your turn because of Force Negation. I don't think there's any counter spell you can have, so yeah, I'll Boros Charm you.
Yeah, I just have Prismari Command and some lands.
I just had some bolts, too. You were real dead.
Yeah. With that good of a hand, I was probably dead even if I'm on the play.
Yeah, my hand was pretty strong.
You figure I just get like one attack in with my rhinos and then you kill me?
Yeah.
Instead of me getting 0 attacks in?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's just a tough one. You know, like you're by design don't have that much interaction. You know,
I've got Dead Gons, Fire Ices, and Furies.
For burn spells, I should say. For the creatures, you have plenty, but you know,
it's the creatures that did the most damage there. If I'm able to deal with that Goblin Guide early,
yeah, Goblin Guide did 6 or something.
Good, so.
Yeah, I just had 2 land stop and just have all the burn spells, which is definitely what you want. So
yeah, 2 lands with more 1 mana burn spells. Sometimes you really need the 3rd land so you can double spell effectively. If you draw too many 2 mana ones, but your hand was lean enough in terms of mana cost that 2 lands was fine.
Or for Kitty as well, but you know, Lurrus doesn't come up in that many matchups anymore. Like,
it's just a card with such a low opportunity cost, and Burn is a deck that doesn't utilize its sideboard very well to begin with. So, you know, getting rid of a sideboard slot honestly would help most people because I see people over sideboard
way too much
all the time.
Speaking of over sideboarding, I am no Burn expert, so you'll probably be seeing me do just that here right after this break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with sideboarding.
Welcome back to Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between Temur Crashcade and Boros Burn. On my side, not a very good sideboard. Normally here I would present the same 60, but these Roiling Vortexes in Corey's sideboard demand some attention from me. So I'm cutting the very weak Prismari command and bringing in a couple of Force Vigors, which can not only hit Roiling Vortex, it can also hit Eidolon of the Great Revel, which is an enchantment.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and hits Eidolon without triggering it.
Yeah.
Anytime you can make that trade without taking any damage is quite nice. So I also keep in mind I do also have Petty Theft, so I didn't want to bring in too many Force Vigors because they're so narrow. And I can just Petty Theft, Roiling Vortex, cast my Cascade spell after I untap, and be all set, and then not really care about the Roiling Vortex coming back.
Yep.
So I don't need to go too overboard with these Force of Vigors, but a couple seems prudent.
And for my end, you know, we were talking about this on the break, a lot of things that people do in the Burn matchup, and basically just whenever we play against someone that's playing Burn, you see a lot of over sideboarding. Most of the time, Burn is one of those decks where you just kind of can't mess with what you're doing. You know, you just really got to stick a game plan, and that means not over sideboarding. Bring in 3-4 cards each matchup tops. You know, like, I mean, I'm sure there's some exceptions that you know, this sideboard yields that you know, maybe you bring in a couple more cards or something. But for the most part, if you take away from your game plan, you're not that cohesive Burn deck that's really fast, doing the same thing every single game. And that's one of the benefits of this deck. It doesn't mulligan much because all the cards do the same thing, and it's just tough to interact with creatures and direct damage at the same time, and that's why Burn's good. So I'm only bringing in Rolling Vortex here, and only really because of the clause. Sure, the beginning of each player's upkeep, getting a damage in here and there doesn't really affect me, but it can add up to you if I played on 2. But if you cast a spell with no mana, aka when you cascade into a Rhino or Force Me, you're gonna take 5. So like, yeah, I can have Rolling Vortex here. If you Force Me and hit Eidolon in this, you still take 5, you know? So, like, that's still a cost and you actually just paying 4 mana is not an easy thing, you know? So this kind of shuts down forces as well as the Cascade, but only if I have it on turn 2. So you're going to see me prioritize this. And then just taking out Searing Blaze. I'm leaving 1 in because I didn't want to bring in, like, a Deflecting Palm, but that 1 Searing Blaze is not that great unless you have, like, hardcast Bone Crusher or hardcast Brazen Bar, neither of which you really want to be doing.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do it sometimes, but... All right, Rob, you got any questions for us?
Yeah, I had a question on, do you think... I mean, obviously you think it's good because you're playing a Temur Crashcade deck, but do you think that is the best Cascade deck versus that Glimpse deck you had played a while ago?
Oh, baby. That deck was sweet.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I can't say for sure because I'm very low on the Temur Crashcade decks, and I've never tested that deck outside of that match. I know I said I was going to go home and play a league. Well, I lied. Okay, I didn't do that. But I wish I did because it's super fun.
Corey's a filthy liar.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I know
we've been keeping up appearances for a long time on the show, but it's time you all learn the truth.
Your next deck donation stream, people need to get that in your queue, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nice marketing for my deck donation streams, which happen every Wednesday at 11 a.m. No, but that one is
They're
just
at twitch.tv/Ross_Merriam.
yeah, right. Yeah, right. You don't have a working computer. We all know that.
They can still sub.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's
Nothing
about
is stopping them.
honestly, you not streaming and you streaming, they'll get about the same value for their sub anyways. So, but no, I think that's a tough question to answer with just from not testing that much on that specific deck. But we'd be seeing it somewhere around the metagame if it was indeed pretty good. And I've legitimately never seen it in a Modern Challenge top 8.
Yeah.
It has the same weaknesses that Crashcade has, but also has a fail rate built into the deck itself.
And
which
no
is a problem.
interaction, basically, or very little. It has Fury.
Yeah. I don't know. I interacted plenty when I played you.
Yeah,
I destroyed
with exactly Fury.
your little elves had no chance against the Glimpse of Tomorrow. All I'm saying.
No, I'll keep, I guess.
All right, I'll keep.
Foothills go.
Okay. Ooh. All right, I'm going to start with taking 2, and hopefully you're taking 2.
So you're going to 18. Violent Outburst.
Would you like to draw that?
Kind of. I will be taking 2, so I'll go to 18.
Past you. It's nice that you... Well, that tells me a very clear thing that is indeed his only Cascade card, for sure. So the rest of his hand should be interaction, or he should have mulliganed. That's what I'm going to be noticing here.
Yeah, I've got a Forest.
Okay.
And I will be evoking a Fury.
Ooh.
Going to deal with this Goblin Guide.
There's interaction.
And yeah, I guess I'm going to pitch Seasoned Pyromancer.
And I think this is a smart thing that Ross is doing is you need to
Pass the turn.
interact frequently and often, not try to go for that 2-for-1 against burn. It's not what it's about.
When you think about card advantage against burn, you're at damage is what you should be measuring cards in.
Yeah.
So giving Corey another opportunity to attack with the Goblin Guide is essentially just worth a card.
Yup. All right, Rolling Vortex. Go.
That I will.
Is it going to be a Lava Axe?
No. Ugh. Yeah, that I'm gonna force a negation, pitching Brazen Borrower.
Okay, that makes sense. And as a bummer, pass to you. Is it land Violent Outburst?
It's half of that.
Excellent.
Pass the turn.
Yes. Versus has not changed a bit since the last time we played. Ross getting a chance to kind of pull far ahead? No. All right. Let's go with... Do I want to play this or this? Let's go with this. Swift Spear. Bang. All right, take one.
I'm at 17.
All right, then I'm going to take one and play Eidolon.
Brings you to 17.
Yep. Then I'll pass to you. I can't believe you're not even wanting to fetch, though. Got him. I was going to say fetch for your try on that end step.
I will Fury, pitching Fury.
Okay.
2 and 2.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Pass the turn.
So I know what's happening next turn, and can't do too much about it, actually. I'm not feeling great about this game. All right, I'm going to take one.
You go to 16. Ooh, I like that.
16? Oh, yep. 16. I'll put you to 16, and I'll buy Luris.
And then end step, I'll go to 15.
Okay.
Thought about potentially leaving this uncracked in case I draw a basic land next turn, and then I can save myself a damage, but having double red and double blue is relevant for like Brazen Borrower, Seasoned Pyromancer, Force Negation, and it's very likely I'm taking the one anyway.
Yep. All right, I'll have to deal with some rhinos next turn, and I don't have a good plan for it. All my good plans you dealt with.
Yeah. But you still have a good number of cards.
Yeah.
And this Luris actually could be very annoying this game.
And I'm hoping it's going to put you in a spot where you're going to have to like leave back rhinos, and then I can just top deck burn spells and finish you that way. But we'll see. Because if you don't leave it back, then 3 lifelink from Luris is going to be nice.
Pass the turn.
All right. Yeah, I don't want to attack because you have a pretty easy block, so I'll play Luris and I'll take 1.
Brings you to 15.
Yep. Resolve.
Yep.
And now it's either Swift Spear or Goblin Guide. Let's start with Swift Spear and play a land and pass to you.
And step all Violent Outburst.
Okay.
Would have liked to draw that Shardless Agent.
Okay, Rhinos. Yeah, if you get to do it again, that's the problem, because then you get to get in there plus...
Have blockers.
Yeah, that's dangerous. All right.
You have 2 cards in hand?
2 cards.
Not very many.
Oh, and I have 5 lands, so that's a lot. But I got 1 extra card here, ready and waiting.
Yeah. In my experience playing Burn, and this is before Sunbaked Canyon, if I drew 5 lands, I could not win.
Yeah, game's over.
So
Yeah.
I always thought about playing black versions of Burn so I could play Bump in the Night. But then I realized that if I had drawn 6 lands, 1 extra burn spell isn't going to kill them, because that's just like drawing 5 lands.
There you go. That's just numbers right there.
I did say a lot of numbers.
You got to teach Rob those numbers after the show.
So I think I can get in with 1 Rhino here.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 Rhino.
I'm going to take it. I don't do a lot of blocking from the burn side.
Pass the turn.
Not a thing I'm into. Draw. Well. Let's see. Let's go with Rolling Vortex triggers.
Sure.
Resolves.
Yep.
Okay. So that was the Rhino check. Now I can safely at least attack and not expect more Rhinos. And now it's just a question of how much I want to get in there. And I think the answer is just with these 2 Swift Spears.
2 cards in hand.
2.
Now I'm in an awkward spot, because if I block and Corey just has 2 burn spells, sending them upstairs, and make Swift Spears into 4/5s, it's not good.
It's not good. That's your professional opinion, as it would be indeed not good?
However, if your hand is 2 burn spells and I don't block, and you send them upstairs, that's also not good.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Even if it's even 2 3-damage burn spells, that gives Corey 14. It's 8 from the Swift Spear, 6 from the burn spells, and then 1 from the Vortex on my upkeep. I'm at 15. That'll be lethal.
Yep.
That's not good. Taking lethal damage is not good.
Taking lethal damage
Write that
is
down.
indeed not good.
Write that down.
We'll keep that note.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering now, maybe I should just attack with Luris to put extra fear into you. Could also bring back Goblin Guide and attack with that too. Nah, we'll leave it back. So I'm a coward.
Yep.
Because I'm a coward, I'll leave it back.
Okay, I'll block.
All right. I will lightning bolt you.
I'll go to 12.
Then I'll skull crack you and I'll take a pain.
Oh, I'm dead.
So I was like, if I attack with this too, and you have absolutely nothing, I'm dead. But if you have like one petty theft, then I feel pretty dead.
Well, I will force a negation the skull crack.
Okay. So yeah, I go to 10, you stay at that, you take 4, you go down to 8.
8, yep.
And then I'll pass to you, take 1.
That's 7. Exactly what I wanted.
I have a feeling that was not what you wanted.
Pass the turn.
Okay, I'll go to 9.
Yep.
Draw. I'll crack.
Yep.
And Goblin Guide.
Yep.
I'll skewer you. Triggers.
I'm a 4.
Okay, so this is lethal if you don't have anything. Now you need 2 things. Okay, I'll attack. Trigger. Okay. Ooh, so I shouldn't. I'm glad I didn't play the Eidolon instead, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Not bad. Well, you did your Rhino thing, but the one thing you did do great is I had a great hand in the sense where I had a very good hate card, and I'll still consider an Eidolon a hate card in most situations. You know, when I'm on the draw, it's not as good. But, I mean, you dealt with it. You did the Rhino thing. You just needed to do the Rhino thing a turn earlier.
Yeah. The missed land drop, and honestly, that's a game that Luris turned around.
Luris looked
entirely.
great. Yeah, Luris looked
I
great.
still don't understand why there are burn players that don't use Luris.
Yep.
I've heard the argument that like you want to conceal information, and honestly, if you think that's relevant enough, just play Luris and don't reveal it in game 1. Then you at least have Luris in games 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine it's not just worth it. There's a million Luris decks. How much information are you giving them? You
And
can
like,
be playing Mill.
No, I know. I drew 7 lands. That's flood.
Yeah.
But I got 2 free spells out of that, which netted to 6 extra damage, 9 extra damage because Luris would have connected as well. So Luris dealt 9 that game.
Yeah.
Luris just dealt 9, you know? And that's insane.
And it also was the thing that prevented me from, applying
Attacking
pressure
back.
to you.
Because Lifelink. Lifelink was actually a big deal, yeah. All right, well, we got time for maybe one more game. We'll try not to... Whenever we stretch the first match, then we're rushing to get. So we'll play one pity game here. And Rob, you got a question while we shuffle up?
Yeah, actually, I had one just come in about the burn list.
Okay.
What do you think about Spike's take on it, where he cut Goblin Guides and played Mishra's Baubles?
I usually don't question. Well, okay, that's not true because I question his lists all the time because you have to differentiate. Spike, I think, is like the best modern streamer out there, the best innovator, but also is a streamer and plays decks for content as well as breaking decks like he's done so many times. So you do got to decipher what is for the content and what is just for the sake of trying something new. With all that being said, which I basically accomplished nothing in saying that, I don't play Burn enough to know exactly about it, so I can't really say if Bobble's better, but...
I assume you're talking about the list that also plays Dragon's Rage Channel.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it swaps Goblin Guide for DRC.
It's basically prowess, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've been seeing some of those.
Well, it doesn't
lists.
play Soulscar Mage. It doesn't play Lavender.
Oh, okay. It just plays Ragavan and DRC.
It doesn't play Ragavan.
Oh, okay.
Or sometimes it does. I've seen Spike play it, but I also there was a recent list from a challenge. I'm not sure if it was his that played DRC and Bauble and didn't play. Cut some of the weaker burn spells. Didn't play Skewer, for example.
Yeah. It definitely makes Luris better. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So. My issue with it, and I don't like it. Actually, this was part of my article this week. I wrote about certain tweaks and innovations on decks that I saw from last weekend and which ones I liked and didn't like. This is one of the ones I did not particularly like. My issue with it is you're taking away from what Burn does, and Burn is a very linear archetype. And if you're going to do that, you make cards like Lava Spike and Boros Charm, cards that don't really have any other mode other than going upstairs, and they're in the deck because they do that very efficiently. Once you take out Goblin Guy and you start trying to play a slower game plan or give yourself that versatility, it's cards like Boros Charm and Lava Spike that become not very good. And then once you cut those, you've turned your deck into prowess. So I think what that deck is doing is taking a half step towards being prowess, and you should just take the full step.
Yeah. And I think prowess, if you remember, right before Modern Horizon 2, prowess was the deck.
Yeah.
Prowess was the deck, but now Modern Horizons 2, the big change that it made is there is so much 1-mana interaction that now 2 Prowess creatures and a bunch of burn spells now just means you have that much less damage because those Prowess creatures are going to die. You know, there's a lot of 1-mana removal in people's decks that's focused on, you know, on killing creatures on turn 1 because of Ragavan's presence. So that, you know, I think the Prowess element has went down a lot.
Yeah,
value,
well, how you build the Prowess decks has changed. And we've actually seen a resurgence in Prowess over the last month or so. You know, it's not, you know, crushing the metagame by any means, but you're starting to see it pop up again. And it's because people have gotten away from, like, the Is It Prowess decks that were the dominant version of it pre-MH2, which, you know, that was due in large part to Stormwing Entity being so difficult to answer.
Yeah.
And now with Unholy Heat, it is not difficult to answer.
Nothing's difficult for Unholy Heat.
And Solitude out of the white decks. So that card, you know, is now just way too easy to answer, and there's the only reason to be blue is Expressive Iteration, and then you actually have, you know, Light of the Stage and just the 2-mana Light of the Stage that was recently printed in red, and so I've seen Boros lists and mono red lists that play a much, you know, they have those explosive prowess draws like those decks can get, but they're not all in on those draws, and they back it up with things like Seasoned Pyromancer. Sometimes you see Manic Blood Moon, and other sort of, you know, more robust threats and threats that let them beat decks that are just piling on removal. And those are the versions that are starting to do well again, and that they're built to grind a little bit better. So I think that, like, you know, if you're going to build a version of Burn that just plays DRC and Mishra's Bauble, like, just play Prowess.
I still think this Burn deck is just a better deck, personally. Like, that's why I think we're including it, is because I just think it's strong. It's hard to deal with from a lot of the popular decks, you know, like.
And if you want to say Burn is better than Prowess, like, that's fine. I think that's a reasonable position to take. But you got to be a Burn deck. You got to commit. If you're going to be a linear deck, you have to commit. So Goblin Guide, Boros Charm, Lava Spike, those are the 3 cards that really differentiate Burn from Prowess. You know, a Prowess deck could play Searing Blaze. So the metagame was all cheap creatures and Searing Blaze was awesome. You could put that in your Prowess deck and be happy with it.
I think that's just Modern, too. I think you just have to commit to a game plan, and when your deck has a robust plan B already built in, great. But if you're trying to, you know, play the mid-range role where you're trying to have multiple ways of attack, you just usually are doing one of them way worse than a different deck, you know? Okay, but good question. Good question.
Okay, I will keep my hand.
Yeah, me too.
I'll play Wooded Foothills and pass.
Okay. All right, Goblin Guide.
I am going to respond to the trigger with fetch.
Gotcha. And this is just in case if Ross sees a good card on top, he wants the fetch no matter what.
Yeah, this makes it more likely that I draw a spell, and I have enough lands in my hand that I don't really care about getting the extra land from the Goblin Guide.
This must be dead, huh?
It is indeed dead, as opposed to being gone.
Well, it's dead and gone.
So I'm going to go to 19. We'll resolve this trigger, and then I'll show you the burn spell.
Very rude.
Perfect.
Yep.
So I'm at 19.
And I'm at 20.
I will draw this Force of Vigor.
Okay.
I will play a Wooded Foothills and pass the turn.
Well, that was slightly an awkward draw for what I'm about to play, but still going to play it.
Yep.
And I'll pass to you because it's still deal 5 if you want to deal with it.
Let's go to 18.
Okay.
Let's get the Triome.
Okay. Triumph. Anything at end step?
Nope.
All right, take 1.
Yeah. It's 17.
Yep.
And yeah, maybe that was actually a mistake. Maybe I should have killed it on end step.
Still don't feel great about this, depending on your draw, of course.
Yeah,
but
I'm actually kind of regretting not doing this.
Excellent.
Oh, whatever. That is not what I want to play.
Okay.
I'll play Misty, fetch to 16.
16. And going to 11, I imagine?
I am indeed going to 11.
Okay. Okay.
Play my Shardless Agent.
Rhinos.
Da-da-da-da-da. That was pretty
La
quick.
la 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 la. Okay.
You're up.
I will go to 19. And I will play a Sad Goblin Guide.
That I'm happy about.
I'll play a Scolding Tarn. And I will pass to you. Take a
If
pain.
I go to 10.
Yep.
Play a Sad Gemstone Caverns.
So sad.
You have 3 in hand?
4.
4. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Oh, I will attack you for 8.
Okay, I'll go to 11.
Pass the turn.
I'll go to 10.
Yep.
10 all.
10 all.
Tie game. All right. Believe it or not, I have a burden spell at end step.
Is it the 1 Searing Blaze?
No, that'd be good though. It's the worst one. Skull crack you.
I go to 7.
Okay. All on top.
Upkeep, you go to 9.
9. Draw. Then I will play an Arid Mesa.
Well, I'm not dead.
You're not dead.
Corey can move pretty quickly here with Roiling Vortex out and me only having 1 blue source, so Force of Negation, not really a relevant card.
Yeah, that's true. All right. I'll declare trigger. A Fury.
I will block.
Okay. Then I will pass to you.
On your end step, actually, no, I probably can't go to 6. My guess is Corey just has 2 burn spells, so yeah, let's kill that. Go to my turn.
Yep.
Draw.
Yep.
You know about this Fury. Attack for 8.
I'll go to 1.
I will. You're at 1. Pass the turn.
End step. Skull crack you.
With you at 1, I'll respond to this fire.
Okay. Yep. My hand was trash.
I was just worried about a lightning helix.
Yep. Yeah. If you just didn't kill Rolling Vortex, I'm just dead. But,
Okay.
but you know,
Yeah,
I agree. You had to because giving me the chance to just have 2 skull cracks or whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
Skullcrack Bolt or whatever. And I had 2 different ways to generate extra damage.
Yep. Yep.
And I could get through a blocker with the Fury, so.
Oh, checks out. Yeah, and that's a game where I flooded, but you also put pressure on just not having to even care about the Rolling Vortex trigger. You know, is that's where you want to be because
you flooded, and I was able to get my rhinos down on turn 3 and interact. So really, everything went right.
Yeah, you just had a good draw, and yeah, I mean, I still could have beat through that good draw as if instead of land 5 and second, and it was really awkward with the force because I would have just played 2 Rolling Vortexes. But knowing you have a face-up force with mana to just cast it, you know, like not great to play that into it. And I didn't want to just buy Luris, so I had no choice on that last turn.
Yeah, and I actually was so the reason I didn't force immediately on the Vortex was because I had 2 Shardless Agents and guaranteed mana to hardcast force.
Yeah,
I thought there was a good chance that I could just go turn 3 Shardless, turn 4 hardcast force, turn 5 a second Rhino.
Yeah.
But that ends up with me taking 2 damage off of the Vortex triggers itself.
Yeah, you did take some extra
I was worried
points,
if whether that 2 extra damage would really cost me.
Yeah.
As it turns out, it paid off because you flooded and drew a second Vortex.
Yeah.
So I ended up blanking the second Vortex in your hand, but I wonder if in most cases it's better for me to just kill the Vortex and save the
I would think so. I would think
agree.
so. Yeah, just I mean, you got to play burn in such a way that you're just preventing damage dealt to you at all like times. Yeah.
And that's what I'll reiterate what I said earlier. When you play against burn, your life total is card advantage.
Yeah.
When your opponent is playing Lava Spike, 3 life is equal to a card.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what they're doing. So if you do the same thing and the opposite, you have effectively traded for their card the same way as if you countered it.
Yeah.
Right?
Nope, totally agree.
So that you just have to readjust the way you think about the game because they're playing on a completely different axis.
Yep. Okay, so that's going to do it for this match. Now we're kind of just going up. Like, I think we're pretty safely secured that these are around 5 and 6, maybe 7, 8, depending on the weekends as far as best decks in Modern. We're going to move to 3 and 4, and then it's a very clear 1 and 2 for our last match. I think it has been for the last 3 weeks or so. We'll get to that one, and I'm sure you can probably guess it. If you've played any Modern leagues or any Modern challenge, you probably know what's on top. So we're going to take a short 5-minute break.
Demir Mill and Death and Taxes.
I just said we didn't want to spoil it for him, okay? God, it's Rob's job to screw up around here, not ours, okay? So we're going to take ourselves a short 5-minute break, and we'll be right back here with round number 2 here on Versus Live. All right, everybody, welcome back to Versus Live. My name is Corey Baumeister.
And I'm Yorian Merriam.
And that's Yorian. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well as Corian.
It's fine.
All right, whatever. And we got Rob in the booth. Say what's up, Rob.
I'm the one playing Yorian, okay?
Okay. I won't judge you. This feels like a paradox here where
I am the Yorian now.
Yeah, you're the captain now. Okay. Well, Rob will be taking all your questions, comments, concerns, and burns. Yeah. There should be some concerns.
I have a concern.
There should be a lot of concerns. What's your concern?
What am I doing?
Yeah. You use
what
this
do
card
I do with
for
my
value.
hands?
Yeah, you're going to be needing to use your hands a lot with Yorian because you do a lot of things. Most of which does not matter. You'll get to learn that you're doing a lot of stuff and not really affecting, the whole life total thing, but that's half the fun.
We'll see.
And for your hands, you got to do a lot of shuffling because it's a lot of cards.
I'm still concerned.
Okay.
Why don't we give Ross that deck then?
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
That reminds me.
We're kind of looking at Modern now in the sense of the SCG Con events that are coming up throughout the year. A lot of focus on Modern, so we're kind of giving you an initial, these are the best decks. And I think it's very clear that these are really number 3 and number 4. Whatever order, who knows, wherever you want to put it on a given week. I would put my deck at 3. Is it Murktide? I think is a really strong deck right now that still kind of plays like Is It Prowess, where it has that one creature that's really tough to deal with, Murktide. And Murktide Region, and then it still has the aggressive element similar to Is It Prowess. This is the new Is It Prowess deck. This is what it looks like now. This is the evolution. It just plays ridiculous cards like Ragavan and DRC instead of Prowess creatures. Now you don't have to play Lava Dart in your deck. You just remove some of the bad cards.
Instead of a red deck, it's a blue deck. They're pretty different.
They are very different. But
both have Lightning Bolt and red 1-mana creatures.
True. I just think it's more comparable to the Is It Prowess deck than burn decks are. I guess because of the color Is It that's in it, but But
also because they're equipped to be able to play an interactive game plan. They're not nearly as linear, even if one is aggressive and this is much more of a mid-range deck and even a more controlling mid-range deck at that, despite the fact that it has these 1-mana creatures, which makes, anytime you see 1-mana creatures, you don't really think of a control deck. But, you don't really need to play Ragavan on turn 1 and attack on turn 2. It's nice to have that option, but you can easily win games with Ragavan and DRC on turn 7.
Yep. Totally agree. So one thing I want to talk about with Is It that I think is an advantage. I think there's 2 things that it's an advantage over Grixis Death Shadow. The deck that I absolutely love. You may see it in the show. We're not going to ruin the countdown for you, but it may be our third match.
Chastises me for ruining it by talking about Demir Mill and Death and Taxes, which is what we're actually playing. I swapped the decks, and Corey doesn't know.
I said may, okay, But the one thing that I love about this deck is whenever I'm a deck that has 1-mana removal, and I'm on the draw, and they play Ragavan, normally you always wait till combat and say, hey, I'll kill that during combat so they can't dash a second one. Here you can't do that, because they can just go land, counterspell, the game's over, And that's one of the most difficult things as far as the early game at dealing with this deck. And then as far as the late game, playing around Murktide Region is very tricky, but also they always have Blood Moons in the wake. So, Blood Moon against a lot of decks Blood Moon's really good right now. And I think those are the biggest aspects to this deck that maybe the other Ragavan DRC decks don't have. And I think there is multiple other ones. The Breach deck, top 4 to challenge.
Jund Saga.
Yeah, Jund Saga kind of fallen off. We don't see it a lot because there's a lot of dress downs and stuff, but that's still a good deck. And then Grixis Death Shadow, filling all those molds. But that's the one thing that this Is It Murktide deck does differently than all those that I think is really scary, at least when I'm playing against it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The power of the addition of Blood Moon, which has been somewhat recent for the deck, I think is really strong. I agree with you. Very well positioned card. It was actually, I wrote an article, I think a month and a half ago, of just listed cards that I thought were way underplayed and should see more play, and Blood Moon was on the list.
Yep.
So glad to see people picking that up, and that's definitely a scary card specifically for this matchup, because I'm playing 4-color mid-range. I got some basics. I've got abundant growths. I could even Spreading Seas my own lands, but it's still a very annoying card to have to play against with the weird spread on all the casting cost on my cards.
And look at all the 6 decks we played. Outside of Burn and maybe one of our decks that's going to be in our third match, Blood Moon's good against all of them. And when it's good against, 4/6, 1/3 of the top decks, then, it's not bad. And 1/3, 2/3 doesn't matter.
Blood Moon's not even as bad against Burn as you might think it is.
Yeah.
Turning off their white spells and their Horizon lands is relevant.
And Luris, there's times.
Yeah. You never want to draw more than one.
Yeah.
Usually don't just slam it on turn 3, but it can be a relevant card even in that matchup where it looks as bad as possible.
Agreed. And one last thing I'll say about this, you can turn into just a Blue Moon deck where you're just all control cards and just Blood Moons and stuff. And we talked about this on the show a lot, where, Blue Moon looks like a good deck right now. And then it was while we were playing Is It Murktide, and we're like, that's just what this deck can become. Since it plays so many islands, you can't turn into a Blue Moon deck and Grixis Death Shadow because you don't play blue sources. So I guess it'd be...
Can I put a Karanos in my Blue Moon deck?
You can do whatever you want, buddy, as long as you fix your computer so you start streaming again. Soon. Got it. All right. And you're playing?
This is 4-color mid-range, affectionately termed Money Pile.
Yep.
Just a collection of the most powerful cards. Fortunately, I have Solitude, which will deal with Murktide Regent. I'm really trying to play the long game here. Mm-hmm. While you have a bunch of counter spells, which might make it seem like you're sort of the control deck, you really don't have as much card advantage. Like, we both have Expressive Iteration. You only have one Archmage's Charm. These decks used to play a lot more of that card, but they've had to really slim down. They're starting to play more Spell Piercers in the main, Force of Negations in the main, things like that, so that they can really interact early. So you're just not as well equipped as the mid-range deck to play that long game and grind through all the card advantage, especially because I also just have a free Bird Serpent on my side. So.
And that is a disadvantage here. This is one of the top decks that doesn't play Companion.
Yes.
That just can't. There's none you can play.
Yeah. You could somehow try to play like Obosh because Murktide is a 7, but then you can't play Counterspell. Yeah.
You can't play Expressive Iteration. That's probably the biggest one. Yeah.
Counterspell and Iteration. I can't do that. So really just can't play Companion. So gonna be behind in the long game. So I'm gonna be trying to play the control role. And that's actually the relevant part there is that I can't let you get too much tempo off of your counterspells.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to finesse my way where, when I'm tapping out for a big spell, I'm not going to fall too far behind if you counter it.
Yeah. And that is one thing that this deck does very well is any opponent that stumbles a bit, you're going to take advantage of it. But the deck can be clunky at times, and sometimes, especially with hand disruption, you can just get picked apart. But yeah, I'm guessing you got an interesting one there?
It is not interesting in the least.
Okay.
I have nothing but Teamer cards in my hand, and my one land is Basic Plains.
Okay.
Just look at it.
I mean, I'm telling you, look at some of these draws that you get. I've tried this deck before, and it's really not for me, even though this is a Yorion deck, because there are some turns that you get to just go bananas with Yorion. It is a good Yorion deck. It's a great Yorion deck, with abundant growth and stuff, but you just get some draws where it's just you have some early stuff. If you don't get it, or if they take your Renin 6 with a Hound Disruption spell, things can be really bad,
But fun fact, if you blink a Spreading Seas with Yorion, and when it comes back onto the battlefield, you can attach it to a Lotus Field.
Yeah, you definitely can. You can attach it to anything. Yeah, that is a nice one.
You're not targeting it. You're just choosing what it's going to be attached to.
Yep.
Why that's different from targeting, I don't really know.
Who knows?
That's how it works.
That is pretty silly. And my hand on the draw is iffy at best, but I'm going to try it. And I really don't have any defense where, like, you know, hey, this might work out because of this. I'm just going to try it. This hand could be a mulligan in the grand scope of things, but if I was on the play, I would mulligan, and on the draw, I think I keep. Yeah. That's the justification I give myself.
Yes.
Though. Yeah.
if any of my situations changed, I would mulligan this. It's very close.
Yes.
But I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
Because I know no other way.
He gets it. That guy gets it.
Don't mind me. I'm just absent-mindedly quoting Neruda.
I was not minding you at all, so that's good.
I think that's Sonnet 17, if I'm not mistaken. His best one, by the way. I'm keeping. I put a card. Oh, I'm on the play. I'll play.
This guy.
Foothill.
Ross can't remember how to count us in. Ross doesn't know when he's going first. I mean, come on.
I'll lead on this tapped Hallowed Fountain.
Okay. Well, that gives me the very clear, I'm not going to rend this DRC, so I'll play that and pass.
Crack Foothills. I'll go to 19.
Okay.
Get a forest.
Okay.
And what's the other land in my hand? That. So I'm casting an Abundant Growth here. And I just, like, I kind of want to put it on the Hallowed Fountain to sort of better play around Blood Moon.
Yep.
But obviously, like, that just sort of makes my mana a little bit worse naturally. You know, in a vacuum, I'd rather put it on a land that taps for one color instead of a land that taps for two. Gives me more options. But I think my mana is going to be fine, even with it on the Hallowed Fountain here. So I'm going to choose to play around the Blood Moon.
Yeah, you shouldn't really play Magic in a vacuum either. Like, it's a little dusty in there.
You do need to breathe.
Yeah.
Plus, now I can draw a Lightning Bolt.
Ooh.
Pass the turn.
You did not draw Lightning Bolt.
Doesn't seem like it.
Okay. Pretty boring turn for me. I don't think I really want to do anything here, so I'll just attack for 1.
18.
Past you.
I could hold it back here, but I've got more things to do, so I'll just jam this Teferi into a counterspell with an island.
Resolves.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, not great for me. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Well, now I have a bit of a decision here because the Channeler is not super threatening, and you're no longer casting any spells in the end step. So you'd have to untap and achieve
That's
Delirium with just land as your start. And if I bounced Fairy, you could...
Yeah, bounce to fairy. That sounds
Or
good.
bounce DRC, I mean. Excuse me.
Bless you.
I'm just not... So, if I bounce the DRC, then I'm just going to lose to Fairy to like an Unholy Heat, even without any Delirium, or a Lightning Bolt potentially, or to a Ragavan, but I don't think you have Ragavan. I think you would have played that given that you don't have a counterspell. But regardless, it would make sense that you have some sort of red interaction, and I think and in the face of those, it is better to plus this to Fairy.
Okay, I'll sack.
Hopefully I don't get punished.
Oh, I'm sure you won't. I will play nothing at end step. My game plan and my opener had one clear thing I was doing, and so far it is not really working out for me. That was an interesting draw, I guess. But not amazing. So I really want to manipulate my deck and see something. I'm going to fetch.
So 18 all now.
I'm going to get another basic. And I'm just going to play Blood Moon. That was kind of my whole plan, but you ruined it by playing basics and whatnot. So Blood Moon, Trigger Surveil.
Yep.
I'll leave that one. And does that resolve?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll attack to Fairy. Pass to you.
Okay.
Not the strongest start, but to be fair, my hand was a lot relying on Blood Moon being effective against your 4-color deck, but yeah, your mana base screams, I don't care about Blood Moon, even if it's white bordered.
Yeah. So now I can still tap this for white.
Yep.
And cast an Omnath.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if that's time-stamped.
Yeah, I'm honestly not 100% sure.
I think it isn't. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty positive it isn't because I thought it was going to be like that, and then my opponent still tapped it for mana, so yeah. Okay.
What is chat saying, Rob?
I know I did this online.
I'm waiting. I know Elliot was watching earlier.
Yeah, I know I did this online, and it's like Spreading Seas is time-stamped with this, but Abundant Growth isn't.
Spreading Seas turns it into an island.
Yeah.
Whereas this just gives it a separate ability.
I don't know if, Magic Online, you never know because it could always be bugged, but I know that this happened where my opponent could still tap for whatever in this kind of same scenario.
I'll play an Omnath, I'll plus my Teferi.
Okay.
I'll pass the turn.
First couple responses are, it allows you to tap for whatever color.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, I'm going to play Expressive Iteration trigger. Kind of want that to be an option.
Yeah, Elliot said Abundant Growth and Blood Moon do not interact.
Nice. Okay, I'll keep that on top. Resolve this.
Yeah.
Well, that's not ideal. Put Consider here. I'll put this card to my hand. This here. Consider trigger.
Yep.
I do not want to land. That was for that. No. And then this. I do not think I need a Spell Pierce. Draw.
Still no Delirium.
Nope. And Delirium's not even that great. I was really looking to hit Delirium and Unholy Heat. That's not looking like that's going to happen. So I will instead play an island and Consider again, trigger. And as sad as this is, I think I have to really hit Delirium here. Otherwise, you can really do some disgusting things next turn. So I'm going to bin that. Resolve, Consider. Got there. Draw. Yeah, creature, instant, sorcery, land. I'll attack Teferi.
Okay, I'll evoke a Solitude.
Wow. All of that fun for this. Okay.
Gain 3. 21.
All right, past you.
Okay. Let's do some fun things, shall we?
Yeah, it's probably not going to be great for me.
I am going to minus on the Blood Moon.
Okay, Blood Moon's gone.
I will then Spreading Seas your only red source.
Okay. I need Blood Moon just for fixing at this point.
Then I will play a Misty Rainforest, gain 4.
Okay.
Go to 22.
Yep.
Then I will sacrifice a Windswept Heath, go to 21. Get basic planes. Okay. That will trigger the second ability of Omnath. Oh, the planes are on the top. Oddly enough, I don't really have a good thing to do with this.
You're one short of doing the Yorion trick.
Yeah.
8 mana is that magical number with Yorion.
I will, let's float a blue and cycle a Rogran Triumph.
All right. We like that. You got all your basics now, so my Blood Moon's not that good of a plan anymore.
Then, I guess, buy Yorion.
Okay.
And attack for 4.
17.
And do I just want to cast this Misty in to deal 4 damage? That seems fine.
Okay, so you're at 20. I'm going to be at 13.
Yeah, 20 to 13. Got nothing else to do with it. I could get another island here.
Okay.
I'm not really concerned about you casting a Blood Moon. So
yeah, I don't blame you.
I think I'm just going to get a better land. Yeah, just get catch retry.
Alrighty, done?
Yep.
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Okay, well,
How many cards you got?
I got a lot. I got 8 cards. I'll be doing things.
Do any of those cards produce red mana?
They do.
All of them?
At least a couple, which isn't bad. All right. I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna go to 11.
Yep.
And yeah, I think I just have to do this, which sucks. I'll dash Ragavan out to Fairy. And then I'm going to play Murktide for some amount. 2, instant, 3. And if I want to keep Delirium, I better keep those. I don't really care right now. 5, 6. I could do that, make it a 6/6. I think that seems fine. All right, 6/6.
Okay.
And then I'll return Ragavan and pass to you. Off the Blood Moon plan.
That was a good draw.
Uh-oh.
Basically unbeatable.
I believe it.
Just can't ever lose in a million years. I will play Teferi.
Sure.
I will bounce your Murktide Regent.
Cool.
Draw a card.
Loving it.
I'll play a fetch land.
Oh, yeah.
I'll crack that fetch land. I'm gonna go to I'll go to 24.
23 total, yeah.
I'm gonna go down to 21.
Okay.
And get I don't know, any shock land the first shock land I see.
Yeah. Probably should have attacked first, you fish. If you're gonna Yorian.
Oh yeah, sure, I guess. Whatever.
He's got a handful of money. He doesn't care.
Just try to end the game quickly here, okay?
Yeah, attacking does that.
So I'm going to end with 7 mana here. That's perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I'll get Breeding Pool. That's fine.
Sure.
I'll use the red-green from the Yorian to play Wrenn.
Sure.
Then I will play the Yorian. I'll blink out Teferi, Abundant Growth, Spreading Seas. Attack you for 4.
Okay.
Gets you to 7. Plus the Wrenn on Brogren Triome. Why not?
Sure.
And then on end step, these things will all come back in.
All right, I'm dead.
Yeah, Spreading Seas will be on something.
I'm dead. Can't deal with Teferi. I only have creatures to play. So, yeah, I kept a very slow hand on the draw. It was whoever that DRC is. You probably exiled it or whatever. It was these 4 cards and 3 land, with 2 of them being islands. So I had a clear plan, and that was to play Blood Moon. Blood Moon was not good, and I died very badly. So, yep, there we are.
Yeah, and Teferi just pretty dominant in a matchup where you're playing a bunch of counterspells. So it didn't seem like you drew a ton of them. It's not like Teferi blanked a lot of your cards.
Yeah, I drew Charm afterwards, but yeah, I have a decent amount. But just Teferi bouncing Murktide, and then Wrenn dealing with my 1-drops and stuff. Like, if your stuff lines up, it's a scary matchup for me, I feel. So, yeah. It's like Teferi's not that good against the top 2 decks. Like, it's okay, it's fine, but Teferi is excellent against Murktide and any of the Cascade shenanigans. Yeah.
Yeah, it really seems like you have to get under me and play that aggro control game plan where you've got a threat down and then you're using your counter spells to stay ahead because my curve is quite high.
Yeah, if I had counterspell there, for that Teferi, the game's different, but, I think that really means I have to prioritize, aggressively mulliganing to something good. But I also have the tough choice of, like, especially when I'm on the draw, like, can I even play one of my 1-drops? Like, if I get Rend, like, you gave me the out of saying, hey, I have Hallowed Fountain. I'm not going to play it on turn 2. But like, if you just went any fetch land go, it's just like, if I play it and it dies to Ren, that's probably game over. You know, like, so sometimes I even want to start with like consider, but when I'm on the play, I get to Ren you because it's like either have prismatic ending, you're 2-for-1ing yourself, or I'm going to connect and I'm going to be really ahead.
Yeah.
So
we're going to take a quick break, let our give us some time to get some sideboard set up, and we'll see how Corey can do on the play in the rest of this match, trying to lock up the marbles a little bit early here on our first show back in 2022 on Versus Live. Don't go nowhere.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Sideboarding here on Versus Live. Up against Is It Murktide, up against 4-color midrange. From my end, Lightning Bolt is a card I'm already just very weak on when it just comes to Modern. Like, I think there's certain decks that really want it, and, you know, this being one of them. But, you know, otherwise, any deck that can facilitate Unholy Heat, I just think it's a much better option. So we're taking these out. Doesn't kill Omnath, you know, doesn't kill a lot of the things that matter in your deck. Brazen Borrower, the one of, is also pretty weak. And then taking out one Murktide Regent. I don't want to ever draw two of these because most of the time you can Solitude it, but for the most part, you're going to want to Teferi bounce it. It's just such a juicy bounce. You know, the times of Chromatic Angler getting bounced by Teferi for that little amount of time where they were both playable Magic cards was just very satisfying. Then we're just bringing in a lot of anti-control cards, kind of treating this as a slower grinding matchup. So a couple Disputes to stop your Teferis, your Omnath. Dispute just being the best card against these Yorian piles, because you just look at most of these random cards, somewhere in them there's blue.
Yeah,
you know?
There's a good number of blue cards, and there's a high curve. So even if you're paying 3 mana for a mana leak, that's often a good trade for you.
Agreed. Bringing in some Jaces, because they just can really get you. You don't have a lot of instant speed way to deal with it, like lightning bolts. You know, you don't have a ton of those, maybe you have a few, but just landing this card can be excellent when you don't want to spend like 4 mana for a prismatic ending, something like that, and then force to kind of protect against those prismatic endings, or Teferi if I want to tap out on turn 3. So that's my plan.
On my side, mainly motivated by wanting to get Spreading Seas out of my deck. Just not a particularly good card in the matchup, given how blue-heavy your deck is. Veil of Summer, obviously excellent against heavy counterspells. And I'm bringing in my 3rd copy of Force of Negation. This is a concession to your sideboard Jaces and your Blood Moons. So I can be able to tap out for my Ren and 6s and Teferis in the early game without as much fear of you countering it, untapping, and slamming a threat of your own and really pulling ahead that way.
That's what I hope to do. That's what I hope to do, and I hope to also have Ragavan, and you don't have Prismatic Ending, Fury, or Solitude. And honestly, it's not, that sounds like a, good luck, Corey, kind of request, but the fact of having Solitude, having Fury, plus another card that you're okay getting rid of, and then still having a functioning hand, that is a heavy ask. Prismatic Ending is the exception. Having that for turn 1 is excellent, because most of your lands can produce white in some way.
That is the clean answer.
That is clean, yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, Rob, you got any questions for us while we shuffle up?
Yeah, I've got 2. One will be really quick here.
Okay.
Somebody said that they would gift 5 subs if Ross or Corey can guess the paper price of Ross's deck.
Paper price. Ooh, I
don't know what they're using for that. So
yeah, do we get a little leeway? Because I did check this out. I'm going to check because I just bought it. I just bought it thinking I was going to love this deck, chat. Like, I'm like, okay, I want to mix it up. I've been playing too much Grixis Death Shadow. People are going to get sick of this kind of content from me. I'm like, I want to mix it up. So I bought this deck thinking I'm just going to love it. Hated it. Played one league, absolutely hated it. I had some other modern staples, but I still think I spent like, $1,200 or something on it. So I'm going to guess $1,900.
All right. Okay. So they're going to use the goldfish price. So
yeah.
So we have a base.
I think it's like 1980 or something, and it might be pushing up into like 21 range.
I'm gonna go 22.44.
Oh, okay. Check it out. Price is Right rules. Ross went over.
Right at $1,809.
Both over. We both failed the showcase. That's close, though. I still think that's at least good for 2 gifted subs or something, But all right, what's the other question?
The other question was from earlier and is about I think it's a little off meta, but I know Ross, you've played before. The Esper Reanimator deck that's kind of been around. Do you think that there is a viability of playing that deck with something like Jace's Prodigy and going harder on the combo instead of trying to play more of a mid-range deck with it?
I would say potentially yes, because I don't think there's as much graveyard hate around as there has been. That said, I would not be using Jace Vryn's Prodigy as my enabler. That card is just too easy to kill, and you're too often just trading 2 mana for 1 mana. I would actually just be playing something like Chart a Course, like
Yeah.
or if you're a version with Counterspell, maybe you play like even not Thirst for Knowledge, but there's got to be some like 3 mana instant that lets you discard a threat and draw some cards. Something in that mold. Just the one-shot effects will be good enough. You don't need that many ways to discard. And while Jace, has that pedigree, was one of the best cards in Standard. Being a 2 mana, 2 toughness creature that doesn't generate any value when it enters the battlefield in a deck that is playing a value-laden game, in a world of Unholy Heats and Prismatic Endings is not where I want to be.
For me, that deck's unplayable in its current configuration. Like, there's just a couple big problems with it. One, just a card that says 2 mana, put something into your graveyard, do nothing else, and then having to pair it with another card is just not that good for me right now. And also, the big payoff is dealt with by an Unholy Heat. Like that payoff, when you have to work that hard for it, like look at the Rhino deck. Like, that's a 1-card combo where you get 10 power. Great. You're getting 1 Archon it's going to get some value. They're going to lose some stuff. But then if they just have Unholy Heat and the discard and the sacrifice, set up Delirium. And like, whenever that payoff that you have to work so hard to do is that easy to answer, I don't think a deck is playable, personally. And then Graveyard Hate completely destroys it. That's another element. If you're working hard for a combo and then Graveyard doesn't get it, like one of your favorite decks, Indomitable Creativity, you work a little bit harder for that, but you don't even have to work as hard. And the payoff is a lot tougher to deal with because it's out of that range of the most popular 1-mana spell. I think something like that is just a much better deck. Like, play Creativity if you like that style of deck, because it's very similar. It's just more resilient.
I'll agree with you. I'm not a big fan of Reanimator in general.
It did you wrong at the Envy?
Jeez, it was the Ephemerate build even was way worse.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Ross was not having a good time. And Standard, you're having a great old time. Yeah,
great time.
It's hard to say I would have wanted to do anything too different after winning the tournament, but I still wish I played your Standard deck, and my Modern deck I was pretty okay with.
My Standard deck was excellent.
Yeah,
my Modern deck was not.
Yeah,
I agree with you that Unmarked Grave is not good. I actually ended up cutting one for my deck. I played 3. It's just not a card that you want to draw a ton of, and where I would disagree with you somewhat is Archon. The value that you generate from Archon means that when they deal with it, you're still able to keep playing.
Yeah,
and that's really one of the reasons Archon is really, really, really.
Yeah, it's a great card. Don't get me wrong, but I just think it's not the game-ending spell that Sarah's Embassy can be. Like, against Hammer, you just win, right? How does that deck beat it? You just name creature and you win the game?
Yeah, sometimes they have like pass in their sideboard.
Yeah, true. And then,
But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have push or they have prismatic ending.
And if you Creativity for 2 and hit 2 to Sarah's Emissaries, they just lose.
But you don't play 2 emissaries. You have Emissary Emrakul.
Yeah, I'd play 1 on the board for that scenario, Emrakul they can beat.
If there's a matchup where a double emissary kills them, I'm like, sure. But so I'm not as concerned with them being able to kill Archon, because you're able to really play, regardless of which build. There's builds that play Ephemerate and a bunch of evoke creatures. There's builds that play like Counterspell and discard spells, just normal interaction and some card draw. So that's the benefit of this version of the way the Reanimator deck is built. They're able to play that kind of fair game. They're not just all in on the combo. And so the fact that your combo generates value even if they answer the creature, and the fact that Archon is castable as the game goes along. Yeah. Though 8 mana is quite a bit.
Yeah.
As I learned.
Castable.
I cast a couple of them.
Yeah.
But those things are really beneficial to the deck. So for those reasons, I would not recommend playing one that is more all in on being a reanimator deck.
Yeah.
I think the versatility is actually part of what makes that deck viable in the first place.
Yeah.
But if if your local metagame was just like devoid of graveyard hate entirely, then sure, go that route. But don't do it with Jace. Do it with things like Charter Course and one-shot cards, because they're just
or play Living End if you're if it's void of graveyard, Living End, and maybe even Dredge. I'm lower on Dredge. I'd go Living End, then some kind of reanimator things, but
Sure.
Yeah. All right, good questions. Let's see if we have a better hand. Yeah, my hand is.
Also, they did give us
better.
the 5 gifted subs.
All right.
Away, so
Who was it?
I'm gonna.
You gonna butcher a name? Sweet.
Well, it's basically a name without vowels. It's Small Mountain is what I'm gonna go.
Oh,
with.
it's Small Mountain. Yeah. No, they gifted some subs in my chat as well. Thank you, Small Mountain. Appreciate you. That's good people right there.
Ugh.
How's your hand?
Not good.
Okay.
I think I'm supposed to mulligan this hand. It's just so clunky.
Yeah. Welcome to Money Pile.
Look at this.
Oh yeah.
If I was on the play, I think I would keep this hand.
Yeah, I think so too.
But on the draw, it's just too slow and clunky.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking about how awkward it was against Blood Moon. Like there's no way for me to Eladamri's Call on turn 2 and have 2 basics against Blood Moon without just getting forced planes, which is not the 2 basics I would want to get.
The thing that I really hate about that deck is you think with such a great value deck that you would mulligan pretty well. You just don't. Like you really need a lot of cards to be 2-for-1. You want to 2-for-1 yourself. Ideally get more value than one, like Fury hits 3 creatures, but most of the time, at least once per game, you want to evoke one of your creatures. That's pretty safe.
I did it once last game. It was great.
Exactly. And it's usually fine, but you can't do it if that was your only Omnath that you exiled. You needed something there to push ahead, so it's tough. The one card you're short, it really might be a detriment, where something like, because the point I'm making is your Yorion is not something that helps you out of a bind. It's a card that pushes it way over the edge. But if I mold a 5 with Grixis Death Shadow, I can keep Bobble 3 land Thoughtseize, and I have a plan. I'm going to Luris, and I'm going to try to clear the way for Luris, and that card is a game plan. Yours is a very much almost win more effect, Yeah,
it's like the card that locks it up when you're already ahead.
Locks it up, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take 1, go to 19. Bobble, trigger. I do not want that. And then I'll look at your top, what you're drawing there. Okay. Must be nice. Must be nice. I'm at 19.
Yeah, I will play Wood of Foothills and I guess I've got to do this now.
You don't have to.
I'm going to go to 17 here, and I'm going to get Stomping Ground.
You want to do it now or wait?
I am going to do it now.
Okay.
You could have Force Negation, but then at least you have 2-for-1 yourself.
Yeah, I'd get to consider or something.
Yeah.
I'd prefer if you waited. I'm not going to lie. Okay, draw Bobble. Draw for my turn. That was an interesting draw. Okay. I'm going to take 1 and dash a Regavan. Go to 18. Put you to the Solitude test.
Check for Solitude, not there. I'll go to 15.
Okay. I'll get a treasure. Ooh. I could prismatic ending my own treasure, too. You know what? Instead, I'll just return it to my hand. Here we go. And dashing Regavan in here in this matchup, past turn 1, it'd be pretty unlikely if you see me actually cast that card.
Yeah, I will play a Flooded Strand and pass.
Okay. Untap. Draw. All right. Let's go with take a pain, dash Ragavan.
Yep.
Declare attacks.
4 blocks. I'll go to 14 and get basic island and cast Ice Vankawaddle.
Ooh. That's pretty good.
I thought so.
All right. I'll unholy heat that with the trigger on the stack.
Makes sense.
Yep. Ice Fang Coatl is incredible against the old Ragavan.
So you're still at 17. I'm at, what am I at, 14 now?
14, yeah, about to be 12 if you don't do anything. Look how many people have been buying this deck, or out of Quaddles. I actually bought 4, so I might have been part of the problem while we're out.
Should have brought them in.
Yeah, I should have.
So 14 from the fetch. Ice Fang dies, then the trigger resolves.
Yep.
Then I once again do a Solitude check and fail.
Okay.
I'll go to 12.
Oh, so close, so close. I have cast Omnath before in Death Shadow. All right, consider.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty close to what I want. But I'd rather hit a land. Then I'll bobble. I'll return this. And I'll pass to you and bobble at your upkeep. Okay. You have a land.
I have a land. I will play that land and pass the turn.
All right. Draw a bobble. Draw for my turn. I'm going to play a land. I'm going to fetch.
Brings you to 16.
Yep. Think I can pretty safely just get a basic here in case I draw Blood Moon. All right, 16 for me. All right, then I'm going to Murktide it up. I want to just max this one out, try to hope it wins me the game kind of thing, while still keeping Delirium if I can. So there's 4. I cannot, so I might as well get rid of one of these creatures. Here's 5.
Okay, I am going to go to 9.
Okay.
Fetch for a Hallowed Fountain and attempt to counterspell the Murktide.
Okay. Can't do anything to avail, but it's not like you made it obvious you had avail here. You could not cast counter spells, so yeah, all right. I'll take a pain.
Yep.
Yay!
You're at 15.
And I have a large creature.
You got 3 in hand?
3 in hand, yep. One's Ragavan. And that's all I got.
All you have.
That's all I got is a 2-mana 6/6 flyer.
Okay then.
Okay then.
That's all you have.
That's it.
Interesting spot for me.
Just Biorian kind of thing, huh?
That is an option. It's a play I can make.
Legal play.
Think I've got to start getting this online.
Okay.
So I'll cast an iteration.
Okay. Resolves. No Teferi is something I definitely was hoping for. Looks like that'll be a reality.
Put that one into my hand. Exile the Abundant Growth. This goes to the bottom.
Okay.
Then let's play Foothills and crack it. Go to 8.
Yep.
That can get me a basic forest. And then I'm going to Abundant Growth the Stomping Ground.
Okay.
And draw a card.
Okay. I'm scared.
You should be. And draw a card.
Okay.
And then I will evoke Solitude, pitching Omnath.
Found it. Okay. Resolves.
So you gain 6, go to 21.
Yep.
And I'll pass the turn.
Okay. Well, I think I kind of only have one game plan now for a while.
You go to 20.
Yep.
I'll
Put you
go
to 6. Ooh.
We have a land.
No. No, I do not. Yeah, and step all bounce. Oh, so close. So close. I split the finals of a 1K this weekend, and the matchup is what we're going to see in the last round. and I beat blue-white control in the top 4. And do you want to guess how many Teferis I cast in that match?
2.
You're right. I cast Teferi, Time Raveler, and the Hero of Dominaria to lock it up. And I also Spreading Seas their 2 castles that they were activating for scrying and token making. It was cool.
I'm going to fetch
It was cool.
5.
Okay.
Get another
Do you agree
island.
that's cool, or?
I do agree that is cool. Then I'm just going to buy Yorion.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
I agree that that's not cool. I'll untap. I'll draw. I'm going to mix it up this turn and try a Regavan.
Complete a 19. I will attempt to counterspell it.
Ooh.
Got a counterspell of your own?
I do.
That has a dispute. That's even worse.
That's even better. Bless you. I suppose they didn't hear that, but, still courteous.
I'm sure it picked up a little bit.
Good. I'll attack.
So you're at 19. I'm going to go to 3.
Oh, 3. Yep, you took pain. Okay. Witness. Still can't cast that either. I'll pass to you.
3 in hand?
Yep.
Or
4.
4.
Sorry. I've hit all castables, which is exactly what you want from Regavan, but haven't had the option to cast any of them, which is not what you want. If you didn't make me use that dispute, I would have got back a land. Then I could use that dispute later with that witness. That would have been cool.
Yorion.
Counter it.
Play a fetch land and pass.
Okay. Fetch land you hopefully will not be able to ever use. Dash.
You did 18. I'll go to 1.
Yep. Can't cast that. But I will play a DRC and bounce this. Pass to you.
Not a very good set of last 2 draws. Fetch land.
Okay. Not bad. Better hope that other card's pretty good.
A very desperate iteration.
Okay.
There's the card I really wanted.
Yeah.
That one would have gotten there. Oh my god, so close.
So close. Yeah, that
Unless
one
you
would have
had
got there.
Oh yeah, because then I cast the iteration off of the mana. And,
Yeah.
Gain, I go up to 4, so even if that's a 3/3, I've got it covered.
Yeah, that one card keeps you alive. Maybe. Or gives you a
I
chance.
guess I'll put the Omnath in my hand and exile this thing.
Yep.
Put this other fetch land on the bottom.
Now you can top deck Solitude or Solitude, Prismatic Ending, or Fury.
Okay, Fury.
Okay.
not great.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Is there any way for me to... There's no way for me to discard these lands, so I might as well
No,
just
not really.
play it. Pass the turn.
Okay.
Technically still alive.
Oh, no. What an awful draw for me. Oh, that was the worst possible. Oh, you're alive. Oh, I wanted to cast my spell, but now I can't.
One Omnath left in my deck.
Yep. I got some options, and I think I should do this, even though it actually gives you mana. So I'm going to take a pain and play Blood Moon.
You go to 17.
Yep. So now you have lands you can use. I have a Spire Bluff Canal that is now just a mountain, and I'll cast a Regavan. Past you.
I will Abundant Growth this Wooded Foothills.
Yep, that's bad. I was trying to shut down Solitude, if you top decked it. Because I didn't even shut down Omnath with this, so it really was not very good, but...
Okay, I'll show you the Solitude I just
Oh
did.
my god! Wow.
You gain 2, go to
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
And do I want to attack? If you draw... If I don't want to force this... I don't want you to be able to force this trade with a Ragavan, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think 1 damage is worth it, so I'm just going to pass.
Okay. I had this play lined up for last turn, but I drew the stupid Spire Bluff Canal. Now, I think I want to tick up on you, yeah, and shut down a draw, because then I get a free Brainstorm next turn. But you do get a lifelink attacker. That's the whole problem.
But if you bounce this, then I have a Solitude in my hand for your next threat.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
You'll probably then you'll kind of be.
I might just have to hope to brainstorm to deal with Solitude. Then again, I took all the bolts out to just kill you. Honestly, that might be my highest upside. It's either that or tick up on you, make sure you draw a brick, and then have Jace, and then just start to play a new game. All right, I think that's pretty good. I'll tick up on you. You can have it. Past you.
Okay, I will play a Plains and attack Jace for 4.
Okay.
I go to 4.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
Okay. Now I think it's probably Brainstorm o'clock.
Yep. Brainstorm, find 2 answers. That would probably end the game.
Yeah, probably. All right, I'm going to put these on top. I'm going to dash Ragavan.
Okay.
I'll attack.
I will go to 2.
Okay, give me something. Dang it. The first time I miss.
Get a treasure.
Yeah. Then I will pass to you.
That's back in your hand.
Yep.
I think I have to respect a removal spell here. Which means letting Corey have another free attack with the Ragavan. Oh, Jesus.
But you're at 2.
Yes.
Checked notes.
So I guess I actually have to just attack with Solitude. That's actually how I play around removal. Because if I just attack with Qual, I'll use Let Jace Die, kill Solitude, and kill me.
Yep.
So literally the only way I can beat a removal spell is sending just Solitude at Jace, which is the best if you don't have removal anyway. So It's the obvious play, Solitude attack Jace.
Well, you respected it, so you don't lose immediately.
I basically lose.
Yeah, I do get to keep, I do get to keep a Jace.
I basically lose.
I agree.
You're up.
I can't bounce because you can just recast it.
Yeah, that was a pretty good set of draws.
But yeah, I know my top card is bad, but I still just have to brainstorm.
Yep.
I
would like to draw Fury, please.
Yeah, good call. Okay, I'll put that on top, and I will dash Ragavan.
I will block.
Good call. Second main, I will play Ragavan and pass to you with a counterspell.
Well, Fury will still be good.
Uh-oh!
But I drew a fetch land.
Hooray! Oh, yeah. All right.
I, of course, drew Veil of Summer the turn after you cast your last blue spell of the game.
Yeah, I cast like 3 in a row.
Yeah.
That was a good game. So far, my Blood Moons have been unplayable. They've actually made the game worse for me because I couldn't fetch my own fetch land, like... It has not looked good. Maybe I'm supposed to have Torpor Orb, huh? That's probably a good one.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about that.
Good one.
I'm going to take out one mystery card that I wasn't just talking about hating or anything. I'm going to take this one out. That one. It was a DRC. All right, we got a game 3 coming. We got a nice fast and loose one. We're doing all right.
Only way I know how.
I knew it. That was a really good game, though.
Yeah, very back and forth. Yep. Just to stay in it, I had to rip the, hit off the iteration.
And I think that's how a lot of the games look whenever DRC Ragavan decks have a good hand on the play. Like, you're always on the back foot, but you always have that one spot where, like, if you just draw iteration into something, it's like, all right, whatever, you win. Nice draw, but you're also an 80-card deck, so you got a lot of fluff. You got a lot of cards that aren't that high impact, but then you have haymakers.
It was also a game where I put you to the test a lot. I just kept answering the Ragavan that you dashed over and over, and you had the Unholy Heat, then the Counterspell, and
then just more of them. Yeah, I just had 3 of them. Yeah.
Then more copies of it once I finally dealt with it. The one Jace Brainstorm seemed like it hit 2 good cards.
Yeah, it hit 2 Ragavans and an Unholy Heat and a land. I drew Ragavan, or I maybe already had it, but then I hit Yeah, another Ragavan, Unholy Heat, and then a land, and then the last one hit a counter spell. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah. And
doing
honestly,
that.
like, maybe there was a point where I could have managed my life total a little bit better.
Yeah,
Though,
maybe.
yeah, and if I save myself a single point over the course of that game, I think I win.
Yeah. Yeah,
'Cause
probably.
I deal with the Jace, and then,
Yeah. I think
I'm
it was
in
just,
a bit of a precarious spot, but I feel ahead.
Yeah, I do think it was just you being stupid. I agree. That's what we were summing up with that, right? That was the synopsis?
No.
Oh, okay. I must be hearing things that I want to hear then, huh?
That sounds about right. I'm going to keep this in.
Yeah, my hand is very different, but I'm going to keep as well.
I guess that part is awkward. So I'm just trying to plan out my lands here.
Yeah, that's half the battle in those money pile decks.
And we'll play Windswept Heath and pass.
Okay. I just have a canal and I'm going to pass.
I definitely want to get Ketria Triome with this Heath.
Okay.
Wherever it is.
Wherever you may be, Heath.
Do I want to get Ketria Triome, actually? Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, it's usually Ketria or the Jeskai one to start.
So I'm at 19. You just play Canal. Draw.
Yep.
Then I will play Wooded Foothills and pass.
Okay. I will draw. And now it's if I want to play into what could be a counter spell, but I think this is just worth it enough, and I don't have anything too much going on, so I'll try to play a Torpor.
I will respond.
Yeah, good call.
Crack Foothills go to 18. I'm going to get Basic Forest and play Icefang Quaddle.
Okay. Okay, yep. All right, do you want to wait until after that resolves?
I would not.
Okay. So Quaddle can still get Death Touch, but it will not have the draw ability any future ones.
Yeah. This is the important one, so.
That is the important one. Playing Quaddle. Yeah, Quaddle is really the card against the powerful one-drops. That's the best answer. That's what I've been noticing, Like, that's the card I want to see the least out of that deck when I'm playing Shadow. Quaddle's just good.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Okay, let's play Heath. I think at this point I just want to leave back Quaddle against Ragavan.
Okay.
There's a good chance Corey just didn't want to play Ragavan on turn 1 because he was afraid of Renin 6. He's talked about that a lot. I definitely demonstrated the ability to cast it on turn 2 should I have had it. So, yeah, I am just going to... Abundant Growth the Forest.
Okay.
And draw a card.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
Okay. All on tap. All right. I think I want to start doing things.
I don't think you want to do that.
Yeah, it is debatable. Okay. I'm going to start with an expressive iteration.
Expressive iteration.
Yep.
That resolves.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Okay. I will put this one into my hand, that one over here, this here. I'll take 2.
18 all.
And I'll pass to you.
End step, I'm going to crack the Heath, go to 17.
Okay.
Let's get basic planes, and then I will cast Eladamri's Call.
Basic planes, you go to 17. Yeah, I don't think I really care about that. You always kind of want to get rid of the creature that it finds, but yep, that's fine.
Here's where I do the check of, are there any creatures in my deck without ETB abilities? I don't think there are.
I don't think so, yeah. Torpor does do some damage to that.
So, I think I'm just going to get an Omnath.
Nom. Still 4 mana 4/4 with a landfall ability. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and but you could have Mystical Dispute for it, so not safe even in the face of 1 mana here.
Never safe. I have subtleties too.
In your sideboard.
That's actually not even true. Nope.
Okay. Draw.
Yep.
I would like to abundant growth this plains.
Sure. This doesn't shut down Murktide, right? Because Murktide's not a trigger when it comes in. It comes in with it, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's kind of a that's not a combo.
It is not. I will then play a Sacred Foundry untapped, go to 15.
Okay.
I will make blue-white and Prismatic Ending the Torpor Orb.
It's not very nice of you. Yeah, that's unpleasant. Unpleasant at best. I'm gonna respond.
Okay.
Consider.
Sure.
I don't want that land.
Trying to find a force of negation.
Yeah. And
So he has the force of negation.
no, I'm just tanking for fun.
Not like we're on a timed show.
Yeah. Yeah, that resolves.
Okay. I will then abundant growth the Sacred Foundry
Okay.
and pass the turn.
Okay. Draw. I will.
Cast Blood Moon.
Yeah, Blood Moon's so good. I'll play this land and pass to you.
Huh. I will play Wrenn and 6.
Wrenn and 6. Yep, that resolves.
Okay. I will plus on a Wooded Foothills.
Okay.
Play Foothills and crack it. Go to 14.
Okay.
Does my deck have a mountain in it? Oh,
Yeah, one of every basic.
I have another forest.
Yeah, 2 forests and then one of every other one. Usually. Could be different.
I had 2 islands, right?
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah, it's there's no forest.
Or there's no mountain.
Or there's no mountain, I mean.
Interesting.
But I'll get a forest, that's fine.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna buy Yorion.
Okay. Exciting stuff.
Pass the turn.
All right. I'm going to at end step draw 2 cards.
I had the one kind of punish, but
And we'll also fetch, go to 17.
yeah. And you have me at 14, right?
Yeah, 14.
Okay. 17, 14.
All right. We need a good draw. That was actually very good. So I'm going to start with a DRC.
Yep.
Bobble, trigger. Think I kind of want that. Yeah. Okay. I'll keep it and then I'll bobble you. Okay. And then I will. Could wait. All right. Then I'm going to play a land. I lied. I'll play this land. Give you that free value. And then I'm going to say go. Draw off Bobble on your upkeep.
Yep.
And then still at upkeep, I'm going to Unholy Heat, trigger Surveil.
That's fine.
I'll keep that there.
Draw for turn.
Yep. Yeah, needed the Bobble just to hit Delirium there to turn on that Unholy Heat, which was a pretty good draw.
You
Six.
6 cards in your hand.
Yep.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a good game. Now are these critical turns. We're in this mid game where one of us is going to try to pull ahead, so we're just all kind of jockeying for position in the early part of the game and a not wanting to blink first thing, but now we're kind of getting to that point of the game where someone's going to do some blinking. It's just how much do you want to blink?
I will cast this Aldamar's Call you know about.
Sure.
I will search for Ice Fink Waddle.
Okay. 4 mana Quaddle, nice.
I will play a tapped Temple Garden
Okay.
and pass the turn.
Okay. End step. Oh, Crackfire Outlet.
Yep.
I'll also cast Unholy Heat, trigger Surveil.
Surveil's good. In response to the heat, I'll play another Quaddle.
Sure.
Draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Heat's good.
Oof. No ephemerate, thank God.
I tried.
Yeah. All right, so now it's what avenue do we want to go down? Lots of options. You're at 14?
Yep.
Okay. I think I want to just kind of have a little bit of a value turn. Iteration trigger. Don't think I need to consider resolve this.
Sure. You've been doing a lot of considering this game.
I have been considering my options. All right, there's that. I'm gonna put this one to my hand, this one on bottom. I'll play this. And I'll attack.
Walk.
Forced attack, so kind of no option there. And now if I want to play my thing, which I think I do, even though it's not pretty, I'll play Regavan. And I'm going to fetch now so you can't get me on any tricks.
You're at 16.
Yep, we'll get a basic in case we draw that Blood Moon, which would be so relevant, and I'll pass to you. And you're at 14, right?
Yep. 16, 14.
Okay.
You guys still got 6 in hand?
Yeah, 6.
Interesting.
Interesting. I didn't want to have to lose DRC, but that was a smart Miria's call. I didn't really care about any other creature. Maybe Endurance would have been a little annoying, but outside of that, that was definitely the card I didn't want to see was another Quaddle.
I'm going to cast Expressive Iteration.
Yeah, I don't think I value that enough to get rid of something like that. So, yeah, knock yourself out. Okay.
I'll show you this Renin 6 that I have an. That let me play land first, I guess.
Okay.
I'll play Misty and then attempt.
Yeah, this one kills Ragavan, so I want to try to protect against that.
Evolves.
Okay.
I will then crack Misty, go to 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get basic island.
Okay.
And I will play an Eternal Witness.
Eternal Witness, eh?
And kind of thinking about what I want to return.
Yep. I'll be a witness to it.
So normally I would think just Renin 6, but Ice Fang Quaddle could potentially trade with Ragavan and draw a card. If you don't have another removal spell, the Ragavan's not even that good.
Yep.
That Prismatic
true.
Ending could deal with. I already dealt with the Torpor Orb, but it could deal with like a DRC if you play that. It can also deal with the Ragavan if you just kill the Witness. So maybe it's Prismatic Ending. My hand is pretty loaded with card advantage, so I think I just want to get an answer. Yeah, I'm going to rebuy Prismatic Ending.
Okay.
And pass the turn. I played my land.
All right. I do have the Unholy Heat. I'll attack.
I will go to 11.
Give me something good. Ooh, that's something good. That is something good. All right. I will play Teferi.
Yep.
And now I could just bounce Ragavan to blank that stupid card for good. Not bad. I could always recast it if I wanted to. Yeah. I'll bounce Ragavan.
Yep.
Okay. And you're at 11, huh? Then I'm going to play a Ragavan. And pass to you. So I know ending in Yorion, huh? That's probably it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to lead with another iteration.
Resolves. You weren't kidding when you got card advantage, huh? It's been a wild match.
Yep. Exile Lightning Bolt. Put another one into my hand.
Okay.
Play a land.
Okay.
Bolt the Teferi.
Dead.
Prismatic Ending the Ragavan.
Dead.
Pass the turn.
Okay.
You got 5 in hand?
6. Well, I think I have a game plan, and it's just, do I think it's going to work? That's another situation, but I think I set up this play the last couple turns, so I might as well go for it, but I don't know if it's going to work.
You're at 15.
Yep. Wanna cut? All right, here's Merkster. 3, 4, 7, 8. Do you think I want them to, this one to be 8 power? Okay, large. As large as possible.
Yep, resolves.
Okay, also, I'm going to play another one. This one's going to be slightly less large, but 4 power.
Yep.
For 4 pumps, then I'll pass to you. The pressure's on. The unholy heat is on. Do you have that song, The Heat is On, prepared, Rob? You didn't, okay.
I will...
Oh, okay. Well, then I want to make the second one big, and this one would be...
Still a 9. Yeah. So you want to make this a 4, this a 5, because this is going to be a 9 regardless?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'll start with an Omnath.
Omnath, huh? Well, it's basically a free card with a fetch land, plus it can gain you some life, so yeah, I think I have to counter that one.
Abundant Growth, the Windswept Heath.
Okay.
Not great.
Okay. My plan.
Solitude, pitch Yorion.
Okay.
Hit the big one.
So
You
I gain
12.
1 million.
You go to 27.
Okay.
And then I will pass the turn.
Yeah, damn it. Didn't work the way I wanted it to. Solitude was the card I didn't want to see. Visions?
Yep.
Scry 2. Blood Moon to the bottom, believe it or not. I'll leave that other card on top. Dash Ragavan.
Sure.
Declare. For, unfortunately, 10.
Well, I will attempt a bolt on the Ragavan.
Bolting Ragavan, huh? So you have Yorion and something else in hand?
Already pitched the Yorion to the Solitude.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll force it.
Yeah, I'll go to 1.
Okay. Treasure. Give me a bolt off the top. Okay. Play this tapped and return this down. Pass to you. All right, my whole turn was double Murktide with that force and counterspell backup, but you had the Solitude.
Solitude.
Just hard casting it.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Gain 8.
You go to 35.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
Lame. All right, I'll cut 35 to 1. Yeah. Consider.
Yep.
Don't want to bobble. Okay, pass to you.
Draw.
Mm-hmm.
Attack.
Okay. I'm at 32.
2 to 4.
Yep.
I think we're just in jam mode. Got a counterspell for this incredibly good Eternal Witness.
Nope.
Well, that's good. I think I'm going to get Yorion.
Good call. That's exiled. You
That's
good?
exiled.
Yeah.
I knew I'd used it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I have to think.
There's so many good options.
There's a lot of good options. You forced last turn. I've been thinking that Corey had a Mystical Dispute for a while, but I think you would have Mystical Disputed it instead of Force of Negationing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, just because I have so many lands. So I don't really need to worry too much about that. I could just get back another Witness and just have another 2/1. That I could even play through a Mystical Dispute because I have a land in my hand, which I can now sacrifice.
Yep.
Though I would then go down to 1, which is kind of awkward. Could try to go for Omnath and gain a bunch of life. Could get this fairy. Could draw some cards with it. God, all these things are so good.
Yeah. We're in the garbage part of the game, I think.
You have 3 cards in hand, one of which is Ragavan.
Yep.
And you've gone through only 2 counterspells, though, right?
No. Yep. 2 and 1 charm.
Yeah. But you only have 1 charm, so. At least I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that second Solitude was
you would have
brutal.
countered this Eternal Witness, so I think I should just get Omnath. Draws a card, gains me a bunch of life. I guess I have to be. How big can you make a Murktide? You can make it a 7/7.
Yep. I
That's
got 4
pretty
of them.
big. Maybe I'm just supposed to get a Solitude and play around that.
Just pick. You're going to win.
No, I'll get Omnath and cast it.
All right. I did have the dispute.
Really?
I just top decked it.
Oh, God. That's unbelievable.
I'm still in a lot of trouble. Don't get me wrong.
You can go.
All right. We need a good draw.
I guess I'm
Okay.
gonna play this land.
Okay. Consider.
Yep.
I don't need another Ragavan. Okay. Okay. And you're at 4?
I am at 4.
I'll dash Ragavan.
Block.
Okay. I'll make a 7/7 Murktide. Actually, this one's just full 8. The full 8. And, yeah, I'm not really in the bluff mode, so yeah, it's large. Your go.
Hold on. Thinking about whether or not I want to crack some fetches on the
Yeah,
inside.
it doesn't adjust the clock.
Well, I do have a Solitude in play. I guess Omnath is a consideration. Yeah, so because Omnath's in my deck, it doesn't crack any fetches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did this lucky Murktide top deck get there?
Unbelievable.
Oh!
It was literally the drawing the Mystical Dispute. The turn after it was obvious you didn't have one.
Yeah, because I did play kind of like I had it, but
Yeah, most of
that
the
turn
games-
when I Murktide, I had counterspell, force, backup.
Yeah.
Like, so when you played Solitude, I cannot believe I won that game after that.
Neither can I
after
feel like
that
there was a
ending.
point where I needed to pitch like something, but I was just trying to get the Orion down the entire game because he was going to draw so many cards.
Mm-hmm.
But all my cards cost 5,
and I ended up at 9 mana, so I couldn't double spell.
I think you were at the right path when you said Witness for Solitude, because the only way you lose is another Murktide, and you just hold that for later. I think you were on the right path when you said that to yourself, but then just went with Omnath, yeah. But anyways, we are super far behind. We could evaluate that match for a while because that was a doozy of one. But we, as we've been saying this show, I kind of forgot we were still in a show. That was just such a match. I was just so in it. But we are kind of playing the best decks of Modern. We saved the final 2 best decks for last. We'll see how many games we can get in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Versus Live.
Hello and welcome back to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Corey Baumeister.
We've got Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. We played a very long second match, so we're just going to get right into it. Corey has said this multiple times throughout the show already, but these are, in our opinion, the 2 top decks in Modern right now.
Yep.
Corey playing, of course, his favorite Grixis Shadow. He's been playing it a lot here around Roanoke.
I split a finals of a 1K this weekend too.
Yeah.
On fire.
Hammer's been near the top of the metagame for months now.
And I split it with the only other Hammer player in the entire tournament.
Yep. The one recent innovation that we're featuring in the list that we're playing today is Core Outfitter that a lot of lists have adopted.
Yep.
Just to give the deck a few more ways to literally equip Hammer.
Yeah.
Because with only 8, you can pretty easily run low.
Yep.
I like that addition personally, so I prefer these lists. I know some of the Black Splash lists play Dark Confidant. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, me neither. It's not the time of Dark Confidant.
Yeah. Dark Confidant has the same issues that I noted earlier about Jace Vryn's Prodigy, except even on top of dying to all the 1-mana removal, it also dies to Renin 6. And
I bet it is good against Money Pile, because if they're just renning that, usually you can pressure Ren, and it's just a 2-mana removal spell, and it can take over the game. I bet all they're trying to do against Money Pile is just overload with must-answer threats and try to be on, a 1-for-1 basis. But even then, you can, if they ever try to play a couple, which sometimes you need with Drum, you just get furied out of the game, so maybe not.
Yeah. And Core Outfitter is also a must-answer threat most of the time.
Yeah. What a time to be alive. Modern Core Outfitter must answer.
So you still get to overload them with must-answer threats, but now they're harder to answer threats because the red removal is less effective.
Yep.
The Furies, Bolts, and Rens.
And as far as these 2, which one is the best and stuff, Reed Duke wrote about it, and he put Death Shadow as number 1, Hammer as number 2. Before, I'd just been spouting that fact, even when Death Shadow was literally not being played. When I was 1 or 2 people playing it at the NV, I was still best deck. But now Reed wrote about it, so now it's just actually true, so...
Yeah, but you also have to realize that Reed is always going to choose the mid-range deck over the combo deck.
That's a good point. So, yeah, it's still up in the air. This is the list I would play moving forward. The list I played at the 1K, I knew there was burn decks there, so I had 2 Collective Brutalities instead. But this is what I would play for this weekend's event, if anybody
is looking question about that, Corey.
Yeah.
So, as you've been playing a lot of Grixis Death Shadow, is there say a box you keep that's these are the maybe 20 cards I would think about sideboarding, and then you just think about the numbers every weekend? Is that what happens? For
sure. Yeah, and it's the 7 cards I just have sitting on my table. It's that extra lantern. It's a dispute. It is the Collective Brutalities. They're constantly in and out based on the metagame I expect. They're just burn at this local shop.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to kind of adjust when it comes to that.
Cheap, narrow, interactive spells.
Exactly. Lantern, if you expect, you got some living ends at your shop. There's these sideboard cards that are really, really bad, and they almost never come in, like Lantern and Brutality, except when you need them, they're the best card. Yeah. And that's kind of how Modern has been. There's always that one matchup where, you really need a specific sideboard card. Stony Silence, when it's artifacts back in those days.
You can't board cards like that for every matchup, but you pick the matchups where you really need it, that are pretty common and you struggle with, and you want that Haymaker, and you can use 1, 2, maybe 3 sideboard slots to those kind of Haymaker cards.
Exactly. And there's cards I just never cut. These are just untouchable for me. These are really, really important. And everything else, this is actually pretty much there too. But everything else, this is there too. Everything else is pretty, manipulatable. I added the Croxa back because I started playing against Blue-White Control a lot, and I've been seeing it online. It's the best card there. And just minor shifts as you see which decks are overtaking And then when Kamigawa comes out, it's going to be a big shift because everybody will try stuff and, most of it will be bad. Then it'll come back to the world we know now and, But yeah, I do have a certain amount of cards that I constantly manipulate in.
I will keep my hand.
Yeah, this hand is perfectly fine. I'll keep.
I'll lead on planes, drum, Memnite, go.
Okay, Memnite, go. All right, and with this hand, you have the 2 fetch lands. One's a Bloodstained Mire. You always save that one for second because you almost always get the Blood Crypt right away. So let's do that.
Going to 17.
Yep. And I have the DRC plus Bobble Draw. Yep. DRC, Bobble, Trigger Surveil.
Yep.
This card normally is something I'd be very into drawing, but especially against its mortal enemy Memnite, I'll put it into the graveyard. I'll pass to you. Upkeep, Bobble you. Okay. Oh God. The card you're gonna side out.
Well, I've been already punished. I thought about playing Saga on turn 1 so I could start making constructs now, but if you had a removal spell for the Memnite and it's, I'm showing you that you want a removal spell for the Memnite,
Yep.
I'm in rough shape. Of course, if I'd known I was drawing Ornithopter, I would have done it anyway and gotten you really good.
Oh yeah.
But I will play Ornithopter,
Okay.
and with the Saga, I'm just going to buy Luris. Going to leave Memnite untapped in case of a dashed Ragavan.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll pass the turn.
Okay, draw, Bobble. Draw for the turn. Not the bestest of draws.
Maybe I'm just supposed to attack for 1. Whatever.
Okay. I'll play this Bloodstained Mire.
I'm still in like defense mode from the last match.
Yeah, right. So now it's like I don't really want to kill any of your things because you have Luris. But I also don't have that great of a hand. So we're gonna start with going to, what was I at, 17? I'm going to go to 16. I'm going to go to 14. And we need blue and black. So get the Watery Grave. And I will Thoughtseize to take a peek, Trigger Surveil. So this is going to give me Delirium anyways, and I do kind of just want that card. So, yeah. Okay, I will take Luris.
Kind of have to.
Yep. So I'll go to 12. I'll attack.
I'm at 17.
And just enough for the old Death Shadow. And I'll pass to you. I'm at 12.
Okay.
It's one of the rare situations you can get a turn 2 Death Shadow. You need the fetch lands plus Thoughtseize. Or 2 Thoughtseizes and any kind of combination of lands, but not the easiest.
Okay, I will get... That's a 1-1, right?
Yep, and you got this on 2.
Yep. Attack with Memnite.
Yep, 11.
2 to 11. Play another Memnite.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
Okay, yep, pretty visually an Urza Saga turn. So, Alpine Moon off the top, please. All right, I have a Tarn. So you can make this a 5/5. I can get myself to a 5/5. So yeah, I'll attack.
No blocks.
So I got you at 17. I could have you take 8 down to 9, and then maybe present lethal next turn, depending on if stuff goes my way or not. So yeah, YOLO. I will get blue, black. Usually you get Blood Crypt in this situation. But I don't really need too much red.
So you're going to go to 8 and make me take 8. And go to 9, and then I'm going to fetch to 8.
Yeah, I think I will get Watery great. Okay, yeah. So I went to.
You went to 8.
Yep.
Combat brings me to 9. My fetch is going to bring me to 8, though.
Okay, so you're at 8,
I've shortcutted.
and I'm at 8.
Yep.
And I'll pass to you.
Okay, end step, I'll make a construct.
Okay.
Draw. Chapter 3, trigger on the stack. Make a construct.
Okay.
Resolve the trigger. Hard for me to imagine going for something other than hammer here.
It is the name of the deck, so.
Yeah, it would be like Ginger Brute is the other option. This is 2 4s. So I'm going to have 7 artifacts, which is, you know, kind of whatever because you probably have removal.
Me? The Shadow of Death?
Yeah, that's actually really, really awkward. Yeah. So, it's easy to say I missed a damage here. That's actually not the case, because if I had attacked with the Memnite the turn earlier when I left it back in case of Rogavan, then your Shadow would have been a 2/2, and I wouldn't have been able to attack with it the next time.
Yeah.
So I've effectively not really missed a point.
Yeah.
But the awkward thing here...
And I mean, the tough part about this matchup, you could argue that attack was still wrong, that you shouldn't have attacked at all.
Yeah.
You know, it's a case. I mean, I don't necessarily think that is true, but... you know, it's just there's so many cases for if you should attack, if you shouldn't. It's tricky.
It is indeed tricky, and I think so. The thing I'm lamenting here is that I have to tap one of my creatures to play Core Outfitter, which means if I say I tap Memnite, I put Hammer on Ornithopter, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. Then Corey kills the Ornithopter. And he has to kill Ornithopter in a construct, but it's Corey, so I know he has his 1 Kolaghan's command in hand. That's what's actually about to happen here.
Yes.
And when he does that, then because the Memnite is tapped, I'm only dealing 7.
You're right, I have it. Just put it over my sideboard.
Yeah. Which is the awkward part. Regardless, like that's gonna be my play. So I'm gonna get Hammer.
Okay.
I'm gonna play a Plains from my hand and tap Memnite to the drum, play Core Outfitter. Could also have Drown.
Yep. I'll counter it. Trigger Surveil.
Yep.
Oh, that's incredibly awkward.
Oh, that's where I screwed up. Okay, well, I probably punted this game.
Guess I'll keep that, but it's kind of awkward.
I should have tapped Ornithopter and attempted to equip a Memnite. Because now I'd have Corey dead through his obvious Fatal Push.
Could be anything.
And instead I don't. I guess I don't have you dead. What am I thinking? One of these constructs just entered.
Yeah.
But that's fine. So let's attack with the construct, and that can attack and the Memnite, which is in fact lethal.
7. Okay.
So we at least force a removal spell on an attacker, which, leaves me with 2 blockers.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Or I guess actually,
6, 7, 8, 8.
Because it's exactly, oh my god, this is so awkward. Do I just have to...
That's the squeeze that Death Shadow puts in. It's just tough to know when you can attack. I've had plenty of times where my opponent just doesn't attack, and I'm like, oh, thank God, I did not have it. And sometimes it's right.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that you have a removal spell, and in fact, here even like a red removal spell on the Memnite will do. I guess red removal spell on the problem is red removal spell on the Ornithopter will work, or Fatal Push on the untapped construct, right? Either way, and then you just need a second removal spell, which is pretty easy for you to have. But if I just attack with the untapped construct, then you're not dead, but you're pretty close to dead. I'm gonna play around 2 removal spells, I guess. Just attack with the big construct.
Okay. All right. I will Fatal Push. I'll leave this.
Yeah, so now Corey gets the option of just hitting that and keeping the pressure off of him as much as possible.
Yep.
And we'll see if that 1 point matters, but you're up.
Okay, so now I'm in a rough spot where I want to... I know I'm drawing this card, which is good, but having this in my hand, I want to cast that as well, but there's a lot of ways it can work out poorly, but I think I might need a little bit of help. And it's all help against a top deck something of yours, but I want to make sure I'm insulated around
And I do have
the
two
top
draws.
deck something, yeah, so I fetched kind of awkwardly, and it's biting me so far, but I will Expressive Iteration, trigger Surveil.
I'm honestly kind of happy to see iteration just because it is mana that's not affecting the battlefield.
Yikes.
But I also don't think this game is ending this turn, so it's still pretty good.
All right, this here, this here, this there. Now it is a, what am I at? 8, right?
Yep.
It's 5/5. Construct's a little too large. I'll attack.
I'll go to 5.
Play Death Shadow and say go. I wanted to land. I'm dead to hammer and stuff, but...
I mean, I have no way to equip a hammer.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you need quite a bit.
Okay, well, now you're dead to hammer.
Yeah, okay.
I'll play Silent Clearing and I'll crack it.
Okay. That would have been ridiculous.
It's so awkward. I'll place the Guard as aid.
Yep.
So the shadows are both 5/5s,
Yep.
which means you just double block and trade, which is like not very good. Yeah, you can go, I guess. Although, kind of awkward if you just like have a removal spell. But if I attack, then you trade. Do you even trade? Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I think no. I don't know how I win this game at this point. I think your hand has to be bad.
It's awkward still.
I'll pass.
Okay. So now I don't know if I can lose if I just don't play my cards. Like, I think I lose to the top decked hammer. I could try to play aggressive, but no, I don't even win that way. So yeah, I'm just going to draw. Okay, that will probably do it. So yeah, I'll attack for 3.
So if I go to 2, I die. Like, you don't play that many bolts. And the K command, I've never.
You know how much I hate both. I don't play any.
Yeah.
I refuse, and I think everybody that plays one is wrong, and they're only doing it because Soul Strong said so. And I'm still standing up. That card is
I'll go to 2.
unplayable.
I can't beat K command in a million years.
All right, I'll bolt you. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Obviously, you drew Urza Saga off the Silent Clearing.
Yes. Nice. We like that.
You can go.
All right. End step on Holy Heat Ornithopter.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Yep. At the second heat, but the awkward part is at one point I had this, and this was my mana base. That's why you always get the Blood Crypt, but I just had like Drown in the Lock plus Fatal Push plus Death Shadow, so I had a lot of black I wanted. But yeah, I mean, fetching, that is an awkward 3 lands, and it really punished me. All right, so we only have a short amount of time. Do you want to just play one quick fast one pre-board, or what do you want to do?
I don't know. Can we get like a quick poll? Do they want to see a sideboard? We'll just do it live. We won't take a break.
Yeah, I suppose. We'll just do it quick, and we'll play one quick game.
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right, so my sideboard's pretty easy. I kill creatures. Anything that kills creatures, I'm pretty all about. And of course, Dress Down's insane. Culligan's Command, even one Alpine Moon I think about, but not 100% on that. Don't want anything else in here. I like to trim down to 3 hand disruption spells, and Inquisition's the better one most of the time. Because you do pressure me. Although you do have Sanctifiers. Yeah, a lot of lists have been playing more Sanctifiers, so it gets a little scary.
Yeah, and because I'm bringing in Sanctifier, I got to trim on some Core Outfitters here. It's just the card that fits in that spot on the curve. Shadow Spear also not very good. Corey's not really chump blocking.
Yeah.
And then I've got to bring out 2 other cards, and everything else is pretty good. I kind of like the one Gingerbrute. I think having a threat that is unblockable can matter, especially if I find cranial plating. I'm not a big fan of drum, actually. Maybe I'm supposed to cut some drums. Because like going fast is usually not good enough in a matchup like this.
Yeah.
Because you just have so much cheap disruption, and then it ends up leaving me a little flooded. I'm just a little worried if I bring out 2 drums, I'm like down too much mana. Because drum was sort of important for the way my hand played out last game.
I just beat to your own drum, you know? Yeah, that's how you live your life.
So I think I'll turn 1 drum and 1 0 just as their mediocre top decks, which is something I like to do in Thoughtseize matchups. So yeah, I suspect you're bringing out some amount of your discard.
Yeah, some discard Regavans on the draw are really bad. On the play, I've been actually changing my tone. Normally, I was still leaving them out. They're just good on the play. Like, you can really get you offset. But here, you know, I got to deal with Sanctifier, but with Dress Down any EE, that's now 5 ways to deal with a pro-black, pro-red creature, which is pretty good. The only card I always consider, I'd never bring an Alpine Moon on the play, because like 3 Dress Downs for Urza is completely fine, but on the draw, it can be okay, but honestly, I'm still pretty inclined to do this. That's like really the only thing that I'm always iffy about. As well as the Crocs, the last Crocs in the deck. It's also not very good, but I just hate Alpine Moon as a card, and I've been trying to just get it out of my deck altogether, but, you know, Valakut matchups and stuff, it's okay, too.
Yeah, that deck's been popping up again recently.
Yeah, because of your article, right? Like, someone I played in the top 8 took the deck list that you posted in your article.
My article was about why it's been popping up and just, you know, metagame trends in Modern.
Yeah.
Wait,
well,
I can play Titan again? No, I mean, it's
Scape Shift.
It's bring the light Scape Shift. It's not, no Titans.
Well, I'm down on it then.
But this weekend, even with Ross not being at this local 1K, somebody that copied a list card for card from his list, I beat in the top 8. So it was like I beat Ross, you know, still. It was pretty nice. Yeah. All right, so I'll be on the...
To be fair, would Ross have even made the top 8? I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah, it was some fierce competition, so... That was a good 1K, though. I got beat by Izzet Murktide in, like, round 3 in our super close match where I used my Terminate a little too aggressively and got Murktided. Something you might know something about.
Yeah, I held my solitudes for a very long time in that game.
I heard that. I held that Terminate for a long time as well. It was just one turn too few, and then I went on to beat that 4-color pile and then blue-white in the top 8 and top 4.
Hey.
It was a good tournament.
As everyone knows, the last game is for all the marbles. So.
All of them, yep.
And this hand doesn't do anything.
Mine either. 5 lands. Don't do it, y'all. No matter what.
Just have 2 hammers and no way to equip them, but I have a Sanctifier. Like, maybe I'm supposed to keep this?
You know, Corey, coming from you, that advice, you might want to take your own advice on that a little bit more often.
Whoa. I'm saying only in this deck. 5 lands, you can do that plenty of other times. But, yeah.
Maybe I'm supposed to keep this. I can go like turn 1 Hammer Ornithopter, turn 2 Sanctifier. The problem is if you don't.
Now
have
I know your
discard.
tricks. I'm gonna Thoughtseize you so fast turn 1, then your hand is bad.
What am I mulliganing to? I kind of wish I had like Stoneforge Mystics.
Oh, that list doesn't run them?
No, in my hand.
Oh, yeah.
They're in my deck.
Yeah, that's what you're mulliganing to then.
Yeah. Oh, I'll keep.
Okay. I'll keep as
Corey
well.
would probably keep this hand.
I would have got that hand for sure. Okay, this card's pretty bad for me. So yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I think I am gonna lead out a hammer.
Okay.
It's kind of awkward because Curse to Paladin isn't really turned on yet. If you discard spell me on turn 1, which I've shown you that it's good, so you probably have it. Yeah, I think I'm going to lead a hammer because if your discard spell is going to take Sanctifier.
I will take 3 and play a DRC. Past you.
I will play Inkmoth Nexus, Drum Sanctifier.
Okay, I've been sanctified.
You're at 17. You're up.
Yep. All right. I'll take 2.
15.
Go to 15, and I'll pass to you.
Well, that was a good draw. I'll play a Plains and a Pure Steel Paladin.
Pure Steel Paladin, huh? Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, I wanted to do cooler things, but I'll have to settle for this. In response, I'll do this and surveil. All right, I'll keep that, draw. That resolves.
Obviously not going to play the hammer since I can't draw a card with it, so might as well just animate the Ink Moth. DRC is still just a 1/1.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll get in for 2 and 1.
Okay, I believe this has flying because it gains flying,
Yeah,
but it does not have infect, so I'll just take 3 damage.
What?
It gains flying, right? It doesn't gain
It
infect?
also gains in.
Okay,
gains,
all right,
yeah,
then I take infect as well. That's better for me, so yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
so
I go
you're-
to 13 and 1.
13 and 1. End step, the dress down will go away. So I effectively use the Paladin to protect my Sanctifier here.
Yep.
Maybe I was supposed to hold it. I don't know. Magic is hard.
Magic is hard. Okay, so
I suspected the dress down there, but Sanctifier seems very important.
I have a Fatal Push for Pure Steel. Trigger. I don't want to draw that. Those are exiled. And to just make sure I don't die, I think I'll just say go.
And ladies and gentlemen, we got it. A Ginger Brute.
The cookie. Okay.
Still not worried about you ambushing Sanctifier because if you dress down, you don't have Delirium. I'll attack for 3.
Do I want to block the cookie? No. Okay.
Brings you to 10.
Yep.
And I'll buy Luris.
Okay.
Pass a turn.
All right. End step, I'll play dress down, trigger surveil. Don't need a land. Draw. Untap. I'm going to play a bauble. No surveil trigger since it doesn't have that. I will bauble myself. I don't think I want that. I'm going to fetch just to 9.
Get the mountain.
Yep. And I think I have to go for the really upside. Even though it's sad. 2. And destroy target drum. If you didn't have a Luris, I'd love to take out hammer. But since I can't do that, this then goes away. Pass to you, draw a bubble. Now you for sure can at least Luris and Sanctifier. That's kind of the main thing, but still scared.
Activate Ginger Brute.
Yep.
Attack for 1.
No blocks.
You go to 8.
8.
Play Memnite.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Iteration of the expressive variety. Trigger. I don't want a... Problem might be just a nice free one that I can cast, I guess. And maybe help me find something, but nah, I don't think we need it. Resolve this. Here. Here. Here.
Fetch to 7.
Yeah, I think I'm going to 5.
That means Corey's using all his mana, and that's bad news for me.
Got this.
Got milk.
All right, I will unholy heat the cookie. Trigger surveil. I'll leave that. Attack for 3.
I'll go to 17.
Past you.
You have 3 in hand.
Yep. It's been a precarious game, but feels okay now. I really wish I could not attack with Channeler.
Attack for 1.
Okay. No blocks. 4.
There's a Saga.
Okay.
You're up.
Draw. Iteration trigger. Trigger. Hello, friend. This over here, this here, this here. Tapped, attack.
I go to 14.
Past you.
Chapter 2.
Yep.
You got 4 in hand.
4. Yep.
Attack for 1.
Memnite, you're getting scary. Getting scary. All right, unholy heat it. Trigger. No Regavan.
You got 3 in hand now.
3. Yep.
You're 4. I'm at 14.
Yep.
I'll play Windswept Heath and pass the turn.
A draw. It's a pretty good draw. I'll attack.
Go to 11.
Play another DRC.
Yep.
And pass to you.
End step, I'll go to 10.
Okay.
Crack this fetch. Get this Godless Shrine.
Okay. I'm gonna guess you're gonna make a construct.
I will indeed make a construct.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. I had Crocs as an option, which I was considering until I drew a DRC. I could have bought Luris as well, but I'm just going to try to make sure I don't die.
Go to my turn.
Yep.
Draw.
Mm-hmm.
Spawn to chapter 3, making another construct.
Yep.
Resolve it.
Now we got the Shadow Sphere, got another hammer.
Shadow Spear's in the sideboard.
Okay. Pithing Needle wouldn't be the strongest one.
Yeah. My only
Bauble.
real options are Memnite, Ornithopter, Drum.
That's not great for you.
Or a second hammer, but that
Yeah.
can't be good.
This is all contextual to your hand then, because
Yeah.
Drum if you need the mana, M-Knight if you want an extra threat. And I know you have Luris and 2 mysteries.
Yep. I think I just want the extra body with Corey at 4. Though, maybe not great against this Croxa. Yeah, I will select a Memnite.
Okay.
I would then like to attack with... where am I made? I'm going to play an Inkmoth Nexus and attack with a 5/5 Construct.
5/5, that can become a 7/7.
Conveniently dodging Unholy Heat, so of course you have Fatal Push.
I have Fatal Push. I'll double surveil.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll keep it.
Pass the turn.
End step. Unholy Heat. Keep it. Draw. All right, attack for 6.
Two in hand.
2 in hand, yep.
So I can't win. Corey has had a Drown in the Lock in his hand for quite some time.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious.
Yep, once I hit the drown, I think the game was locked.
I mean, I don't know how much of the 17 spot removals you had at that point, but...
Oh, my hand was 4 cards. It was Drown in the Lock and 3/1 mana removal
Okay.
spells. So, if that gives you any indication of what my other card is.
The game was probably
I was just shocked you didn't play the Luris that turn, but you obviously couldn't have brought back Drum or anything, so it made sense.
Yeah. There was
But,
never a
yeah.
point where I could cast Luris
And
cast
get
a
value.
relevant card
Yeah.
and not have it get drowned immediately.
Yeah. So hitting the drum was, it was high risk, high reward because it if you just had a land, you just get back the drum and it's not that great, but
Yeah.
it avoids the worst case scenario of you going Luris, Resolve Sanctifier, I'm probably dead, you know? Yeah.
So how can I possibly win this game? You're at 4.
Yep.
Okay. I will animate the Inkmoth that can tap for mana.
Okay.
I will block 1 DRC.
Okay.
Or yeah, it should be. I'll take 3, go to 7.
7, yep, and then I either can get aggressive and play Croxa, have you discard 1 card, leave you with Luris if you have that, or, yeah, and I don't think there's much you can do there, so black, red, bring back Croxa.
Yep.
And 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't really matter as long as I keep Delirium. All right, there we go. Okay, and pass to you. It's the best I got.
Well, I'm done.
All right. That was a good game, though. That was a really good game. Really, really good game. But yeah, I'm just...
Just needed you to not have the second dress down. Is
Yeah.
really where the game completely swung.
Yeah, because that was my plan, is if you didn't go for something I had to dress down, end step dress down, my opener was just DRC, dress down, K-Command, 3 land.
Yeah.
So my whole plan to deal with Sanctifier is just dress down an end step, K-Command, hopefully your hammer, and that. But since you bought Luris, I couldn't do that. And since you played Paladin, I had to stop that.
Yeah.
And then I just, as I surveilled off the first dress down, it was a dress down. I was like, keep.
I see.
Yeah. All right, well, we are...
Top of the deck was better than mine then.
Yep, exactly. And unfortunately, my deck was better than yours as well, too, but it's better than all of them. So, there's nothing to fret about there. Reed Duke says it's deck number 1, so...
Let's do a 1-outer last time, a 2-outer this time.
How you feeling? Pretty good?
Sometimes they hit.
Yep, absolutely. All right, everyone, that does it for our Best of Modern show. These are the 6 decks that you can expect to see when it comes to the SCG. People are we're past that card availability phase, I think, where people just couldn't get stuff. Like the Envy was like the one tournament, it bleeded over a little bit, but now people are just going to have these decks. They've had all this time. They now see the SCG cons in the horizon, so they're ordering them. That card availability thing is not going to be there. The best decks are going to be played and represented. You got to be prepared for a lot of them. And, that's just the future we look to for anybody that's going to play any of these SCG cons. I know we're going to try to play a few as well. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So what would you play if you were going to play one tomorrow?
I'm still high on Indomitable Creativity.
Yeah.
I think that's the most underrated deck in all of Modern. I've written about it multiple times, including a full breakdown of the deck. That was probably a month and a half ago. So that's, if you search for it on the website, that article will be off of Premium. I think that deck has a lot of what the 4C Omnath deck has going for it.
Yeah.
Where, it's not playing the Incarnations and the Omnaths, and instead is playing this combo plan, but it has those Planeswalkers at the bottom end, the Wrens and Teferis, and a good cheap interaction. Probably more cheap interaction, honestly, than the Omnath deck does. And
I like it more than Money Pile, too. I think that deck is very underrated.
Yeah.
Very good.
And it just goes, rather than playing a bunch of really powerful things with the Yorion, the Omnaths, and all of the Incarnations and generating card advantage that way, it instead of generating card advantage, it generates some. You've got some Planeswalkers and stuff, but you just eventually find an iteration and force it through with Teferi or just casting it for 3 and their removal spell doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And killing them that way. So I think that deck's just very, very underrated. It's the deck I've been high on for months now.
Yeah.
I wish I'd played it at the Invitational even.
Yeah.
I've been high on it since before that. And nothing has really changed. I don't really know why people don't play it that much. I think it has the tools to contend with what's going on here.
For what it's worth, the one guy who plays it all the time, Mana Symbol. I played him. He beat me, and I was playing Death Shadow, and he just kept saying it's an awful matchup, the Grixis Death Shadow one, and I didn't see that. I'm actually quite worried about it. It has Veils. It has a combo. I beat the Fair decks, and I beat Hammer, so I don't agree with that person, even though they were saying they have a bad matchup, from the horse's mouth, but
you have 4 iterations,
you get to play a lot of Veils.
Is surprisingly awesome at just stopping Ragavan.
Yeah, I sided out a few, I didn't know how to play against it. And that's a couple last thing I want to say is, just because these are the best 6 decks, we're not saying pick one of those. We're saying you got to be prepared for these 6. Yeah. But Modern is a vast thing where any deck can win on any given day. I think these are safe choices. And for me, this is what I'm going to play because I played it nonstop. I know how to play it. I know what to do against other decks. And Modern favors that. If you know your deck, if you're a living end player and you're like, okay, right now there's a lot of X, so I need to have Y. Perfect. Just keep playing that. That's always my advice. If you know a deck and Modern you can correct to beat other things, and you should do that.
And in Modern, on top of that, one of the benefits of just knowing your deck is when you run into a rogue strategy that maybe you've only played against once or maybe not at all, but you kind of know what their deck is up to. It's a lot easier to figure out a game plan and a sideboarding plan on the fly if you have that experience with your deck and you have that fundamental understanding.
Yes, very, very underrated fact, too, because sideboard guides in Modern are great. Don't get me wrong. I make plenty of them for this deck, and I think they're great tools, but they shouldn't be a holy grail.
It's a
baseline. You need to be able to adjust to certain decks. And honestly, you can't write a 30 deck sideboard guide, and Modern is that vast. So you got to know, okay, this is close to this matchup, but I don't want this because you got to be able to go layers.
There's this one wild card that they have that my deck just doesn't have a good answer to. I got to watch out for that.
Exactly.
Just
makes Modern great. That's all I got to say. All right, so we're a little over time. Rob, we're gonna thank some subs, we're gonna thank some sponsors, and we're gonna head out.
All right. Well, we had those bunch of gifted subs from Small Mountain and Golgoli earlier today. Nice. And then Leica42 and Axton Jackson both subscribed today. So thank you to them and all of our other subs.
27 subs.
It's a lot of subs.
We did it today.
Let's get that. Let's get a raise.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
deserve a raise.
Absolutely.
Somebody phone that one in. Thank you for all of that support. And if you'd like to support Star City Games in another way, you can join SCG Premium. $7.99 a month will get you access to exclusive content from our fantastic staff of content creators, as well as 5% off of sealed product, 10% off of singles, and 15% off of supplies. So head on over to starcitygames.com/join-premium and sign up today.
Absolutely. And if you love the clothing that we wear, well, I guess just the shirts. I don't think they can buy my pants anywhere. I mean, who wouldn't want to?
They do have hoodies.
Okay. True. You get stickers, you get hoodies, you get shirts. But if you like the shirts we wear, you can purchase them at coalesceapparel.shop and use the promo code SCG to get yourself 10% off. I almost forgot all of that on the fly. I'm not going to lie.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
Getting back into it.
These shirts are awesome. This is one of my favorites. I love the Wooburg mix with the South Beach collection. Those are awesome. We've got a lot of other really cool ones.
And I, of course, love the MTG Jam. Of
Yeah.
course, a parody of NBA Jam.
We brought the best hits for the first show back. Yeah.
They got that. This is Exarch Pestermite, right? That I'm wearing.
Yeah.
They also have Stoneforge Mystic Batterskull.
Can you
Is there
not
a
look
Stoneforge
down
fan?
and see your shirt? Or
It's honestly kind of hard with the mask on.
okay, fair.
It's on. Like,
Okay,
yeah, I can kind of see it.
okay, perfect.
Next order of business is buying cards, because SCG is always buying, and the process of selling to them has never been easier because there's so many ways to do it. You can use the buy list feature on the website. You can mail your cards in and let SCG do the work for you vis-a-vis sorting and grading. You can make an appointment and come into the store to do your business in person. And if you're close enough, or if your collection is large enough and you're close enough, you can make an appointment to have SCG come to you. So pick whichever option works best for your situation, and do keep in mind that when trading cards in for store credit, you will get a 30% bonus on that trade-in.
Yeah, and this is the time to do that if you're going to Philly. You know, you get those cards sold now, so then you get the credit and you can buy whatever deck you want to play, because, you know, Philly's Legacy and Modern. So you gotta come prepared if you want to play both of those. I'm in the buy Legacy cards or figure out what I'm doing for Legacy phase as we speak. So you're not alone if you need to figure out some decks, but SCG can help you out.
When are they doing the surgery to take out the kidney that you're selling?
Oh, yeah, that's later. Yeah. It's going to be 2 volcanic islands. Let's go.
Don't worry, SCG has a full-service hospital right in the back. They just take the kidney right out. You recover there for a week, and you're good to go.
Yeah, if your kidney is in good enough shape, SCG will come to you. Last order of business is the sale. It is a cool little 2022 sale. We have a lot of select items that would be priced, believe it or not, above 2022, $20.22. They now
Actually,
get lowered
all commons
down.
that are now priced $20.
Yeah, we get basic forests that are now $20.22. But no.
Definitely some good deals there.
Yeah, some good cards that are lowered from their normal price to $20.22. So check that out at starcitygames.com/sale for more details on that.
And that sale is going to end at Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, which point it'll roll over into a new weekly sale, because there's one every single week.
And the only untruth we said is we don't do any kind of kidney services here. That was a fallacy, so sorry about that. Ross did say I was a liar at the beginning of the show, so I guess that proved to be true. So, hey, thank you so much for watching, everyone. It was nice to be back in 2022. We will see you Thursday for something, but it'll be a good time. So we got Ross Merriam. I'm Corey Baumeister. We'll see you then.